Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our bit.
Republic. I like this sentiment. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood, letting our good experience.
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over it.
You meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're gonna have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I decline to be an outlaw.
All right, it's the Outlaw Radio Network for the 31st of March. It's Easter Sunday. Woohoo! He is risen. He is risen. Resurrection Day. All right. Indeed. Happy Easter, everybody. Hope you guys found your eggs and ate a lot of food and did an Easter egg hunt and ate some chocolate and whatever else you chose to do on this Easter holiday. Hello, Tom.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
What's going on, man? I'm tired. I'm beat. I'm so out of my mind, exhausted.
Oh?
Yeah.
Why?
I was up at 5 o'clock this morning.
That's early.
It's way early.
I was not up at 5 o'clock.
And then doing a radio show till 11 o'clock tonight. I'm going to be one beat pup.
Yeah, I was not up at 5 o'clock.
Till only 11? Promises?
No, I'm 11-ish. We're not going to go much past. We have to go past 11. It's become the trend. But it might be like 5 minutes past 11 and not 35 minutes past 11. K-Dog is sleepy. K-Dog's really tired. We'll just be honest. Joining us in studio running the boards is, of course, Bob Ross. DJD is around here somewhere as well. Tom in studio with me. And then joining us from the palatial St. Paul Estates and Taxidermy Farm, it is the one and only St. Paul, the voice of reason. Hello, Pollywog. His mic is muted, so he may not be there. All right. Well, he's not going to have video for a little while. He had some things to do. So go ahead and take him off the screen, and and now he's gone.
Oh,
did you hang up on him? That's okay.
I hit remove. I meant to. I don't know why. I thought it removed him from the.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Hey, Bob.
You know what's going to happen is when he comes back, we'll know he's ready to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob. Just say oops.
Oops.
Yeah,
my bad.
that's all. Nope, just oops.
Yeah, pretend it was on a purpose.
Yeah.
Oops.
Or it could be oops.
Hey, so listen, I want to. It is Easter, and Easter is, to me, as a believer, the most important day in the Christian calendar. More important than Christmas, because Christmas is birth, but Easter is death and resurrection. Okay? Forgiveness, eternal grace, one-way ticket to heaven, all that good stuff. So I'm going to preface. I'm going to preface the discussion with that in mind. So before any of you come into the chat and say Kevin hates Christians and Kevin hates God, that's not true. But let me tell you about the two stories that are floating all around the interwebs today. And that a whole bunch of Christians and a whole bunch of believers have issues with. And there's two of them. Okay? One was President Joe Biden signing a proclamation that March 31st is Transgender Day of Visibility. March 31st is also today, which is Easter. Okay? So there's been a whole bunch of hubbub and hubbubaloo online, especially from Christians and conservatives, that are like, why are you attacking Easter? That is a Christian holiday. Why would you make this proclamation? Why? Okay? On top of that, they released the rules for the White House Easter egg contest. And again, conservatives and Christians have gotten mad because the Biden administration has said in the rules, and I want to quote, that the decorated Easter eggs must not include any questionable content, religious symbols, overtly religious themes, or partisan political statements. Now, these are rules that are set forth by the American Egg Board. However, the American Egg Board...
That's a thing.
Yeah. They are the ones that oversee it. Don't ask me why. Listen, the egg lobbyists have to have their money into the keister,
sorry,
right?
I had to double take you when you said the American Egg
Are the
Board.
egg lobbyists
The
like
egg
dairy
lobbyists.
Are they like a government thing, like the dairy lobbyists? You know, the dairy board.
Yeah, exactly.
Got milk?
The egg lobbyists had to have their egg day. So everybody's pissed off, right? Not everybody. Everybody on the right, Christian conservatives, everybody on that angle are pissed off. Well, this is an assault on Easter, which is a holy day in the Christian calendar. It's part of the reason why this nation was founded is because of our Christian values. And how dare they take the Easter egg contest and then say that we can't put any religious symbols on the eggs for the Easter egg hunt and for our decorated Easter submissions, yada blah, yada blah, yada blah. So let me just give you some background before I tell you the way things really are. Okay? First of all, this whole National Transgender Day of Visibility that was proclaimed for today by Biden on March 31st has actually been a recognized day since 2009. And it fell on Easter in 2013. Easter doesn't often fall on March 31st, but it does occasionally, which it did on 2013 and on 2024. So this was not Joe Biden saying, F you, Easter Bunny. This was Joe Biden saying, we're going to recognize this day, which has been recognized since 2009, and I'm going to recognize it. Now, if you're surprised that the Biden administration is catering to the LGBTQ trans movement, you're an idiot. You should not be surprised. But let's not pretend that this was something fabricated by El Raisin Rum Ice Cream Boy out of his butthole that he decided, oh, this year we're going to make it Transgender Day on Easter. No, it's been around since 2009, kids. And by the way, the whole thing with the Easter eggs, that's even stupider to be pissed off about. Because the American Egg Board, again, which are the ones that set the rules for this whole egg display, submission, judgy thing, have had those rules in their artwork for the last 45 years. So while Republicans and Christian conservatives are being pissed off that the Biden administration clearly hates Christians, well, Trump didn't overturn it, and Reagan didn't overturn it, and Bush didn't overturn it, and the other Bush didn't overturn it. It's been in place for 45 years.
Yeah, but right now it's in vogue to be outraged.
No, but listen, it's bigger than that. But Tom, it's bigger than that.
But you have to be outraged.
No, but you don't. Listen, it's bigger than that. Here's the problem. The problem is I'm an idiot.
Oh, me too.
And I could vet this stuff in 36 seconds using the Google machine. But you idiots would rather share your stuff on your Twitter and your Facebook and your social media about how oppressed Christians are and how the government is coming to screw us and take away our traditions. Meanwhile, this stuff has been around for a decade or more. And your president didn't stop it. But because it's a gay-friendly president in Biden, oh, suddenly you're offended. Yes, Phil.
I was going to say 3 words.
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand effect.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
This has probably given it more press than if we just ignored it.
Well, no, but it is all, yeah. Okay. If Republicans had ignored it, not gotten all pissed off about it. Okay. But here's the problem. I would like Christians everywhere to pay attention to me just for a second. You're not under attack. Christianity is not under attack. Are you telling me, people of faith, are you telling me, it doesn't matter if you go in there if his microphone is on, because then I just hear it from the other microphone or not from these microphones, so just so you know. She just cracked a beer in studio, and she's putting a beer down. And it's a green beer for St. Patty's Day. Listen, Christians are not under attack. Are you telling me that Christians can't share the day? Which, by the way, chances are Jesus wasn't risen from the dead on March 31st. Easter is a rotating holiday. It comes on the first Sunday after the full moon, after when people bounced around backwards in a slingshot and had a 3-legged race and a gunny sack. Listen.
If you just said after the spring equinox, you would have had it.
I know.
Oh, wait.
But let's not pretend that Easter is somehow some holy day etched in the calendar for generations. It rotates every single year. And are you telling me that Christians can't share a day? You Jimmy jacked Easter's celebration time and combined it with the pagan rituals with eggs
and bunnies
and the spring solstice and bunnies.
And don't forget Yule and Christmas.
Well, I wasn't even going to Christmas.
I mean, hey, but the Christian church has a habit of appropriating stuff.
And on top of that, you guys are upset because they said no religious images on eggs? Eggs have nothing to do with Easter. Now they do for our
Christian Easter.
not for what the Christian calendar says Easter is.
Right, but the
Easter, I know, but listen, Easter is we roll back the rock and Jesus is gone and he folded his linens and all of his stuff in the tomb and he's gone and he's risen and then he shows up and he manifests himself for 40 days and he kicks it with the disciples and on the 41st day he arises to heaven. That is what Easter is in the Christian calendar. There is nothing in the Christian tradition of Easter that has jack squat to do with eggs. And yet Christians are like, what? We can't put religious symbols on eggs? The eggs are pagans, you idiots!
So are the bunnies.
And so are the bunnies. And so are the baskets and the fake grass.
That's Hallmark.
Whatever. But now we're offended. Now we're offended because they're jacking with our Easter holiday. Folks, you guys screwed your Easter holiday when you combined it with a whole bunch of pagan stuff, which I'm fine with. My kids hunted for Easter eggs. I don't care. Do the eggs and the basket and the bunnies and the whole thing. You celebrate it however you want to. But don't come in here all high and mighty Christian right and be like, oh, they're screwing with our stuff. Yeah, the stuff that you hijacked from other religions and then etched into your own? And now you can't share? That's ridiculous. And from a purely religious point of view, Christians, it makes you look stupid. And it makes you look intolerant. And it makes you look selfish. And it makes you look like you don't care about anybody else but yourself. Which, by the way, if you read the red words in the Bible, says you're supposed to be the exact opposite.
That's not human nature.
But I'm just telling you. So this whole idea that we're all going to be offended and mad about what Biden did, please ask yourself why Donald Trump didn't do anything in his 4 years in office to get rid of National Transgender Day of Visibility, whatever the hell they call it. And please ask me why Donald Trump, your celebrated Republican nominee for president, did not change the Egg Council's rules about religious symbols on the eggs submitted for the Easter egg contest.
Maybe he can't. Maybe it's the Egg Council's rules.
But again, my point is, this is the hypocrisy of our democracy. When your guy doesn't do anything, you guys are blindly silent. You're blissfully stupid. Oh, we're just going to sit over here and our guy is great and the Republican presidents are awesome and blah, blah, blah. But the minute Biden does something akin to what your Republican dude didn't do, suddenly you're offended by it? Please. Have some morals. Please, have some convictions and some integrity. If you want to be mad at Biden, more power to you. But don't be a hypocrite and ignore the fact that Donald Trump didn't fix it and Bush didn't fix it and Reagan didn't fix it. That's stupid. And I know everybody in the chat is like, blah, blah, blah. K-Dog's whining about something. That's totally fine. This is why people won't vote Republican, because you guys look like hypocrites. And when I say that, none of you can say in chat, holy crap, K-Dog, you're right. Trump didn't fix it. Reagan didn't fix it. Bush didn't fix it. You're right. That's a great question for us to have a conversation about. But you guys won't even have the conversation. Instead, you poo-poo it off like Robert Parker's doing in the chat room. Oh, K-Dog's whining, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, don't respond to what I've said, Robert. Just get on your victim mushroom and complain. Yeah, victim mushroom. I don't know where the hell that came from. Yes, Phil.
I'm just reminded the whole proclamation process. It happens on different levels of various governments. I mean, I've been down to the Bremerton City government, and we do the proclamation of like amateur radio field day when we do that in June, and different.
Hey, Bremerton has a Doc Love the Kids Day,
and to the point. And then to the point, Biden did a proclamation of Easter in addition to proclamation of transgender visibility, whatever it was called.
Look, they're still pardoning turkeys, for Christ's sakes. Are we?
Yeah, it's tradition. And I recognize it's like I see this, I'm like, I can feel like, this doesn't feel very nice. But I'm entitled to have those feelings, but I can move on. Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, listen, and listen, people think I manufacture stuff. I don't manufacture stuff. It's all over my gosh darn Facebook page. I had an argument with a couple people that listen to this show regularly that it went in there and got pissed off at me because of what I wrote and fine. But I do listen. And this is true, right? For Republicans, I have a higher expectation of you guys than I do Democrats. I really do. I expect Democrats to be stupid and hypocrites and somewhat anti-American right now. Okay. Tonight's safe word. Tonight's safe word is beads.
No, you know what the perfect safe word is?
What's that?
Meatloaf. Because I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Yep.
I think the perfect safe word is stop. That's the perfect safe word.
Well, honestly, in those communities, you just do red, yellow, and green.
And see, Robert's like, why are you so offended? Robert, this is called talk radio. If you haven't complained about it, please excommunicate yourself from the conversation. Because if you didn't bitch about it, then I'm not bitching about you.
It's like,
Robert, but go look at my I'm not going to out them by name. I could, but I'm not going to. But go look at the thread. There's people that listen to this show that are frequent contributors on the show that were in there picking fights with me on my own thread about what I posted. And I'm fine with that. I'll have the conversation. I don't care. But it's everywhere. Go look at Twitter. Go look at Facebook. Go look at all the social media. All the Republicans pouting in the corner. So sad because the trans people want to be visible on our holiday and we don't want to share it, even though it only happens once every 11 years or whatever the distribution is. Does that mean Christians get to put a claim on 17 days worth of March and April because of where Easter might fall and what other days that might fall on? Like National Cheese Day is coming up a week, 2 weeks from last Thursday. It's National Cheese Day.
Are you Christians sure
getting yes? Because we have a life group that's going to meet on that day, and it's National Cheese Day. And I suggested let's all bring cheese stuff, and people said no. We'd like to be able to poop for a week. But does that mean Christians are going to be like, you can't have National Cheese Day on Easter? That's not Christian. Stop it. Just quit. Quit. And Robert's like, stop. Robert, shut up. It's a radio show. Sometimes I'm going to talk about things that don't apply to you, Phil.
I was going to say, what's the flip side? Are there people in the LGBTQ community that find Easter offensive? It's a fair question, and they're entitled to have their feelings as well.
And they don't have to celebrate it.
Yeah.
They don't have to. By the way, folks, I hate to break it to you. Did you know that Easter is not a national holiday? It's not a national holiday. So you don't have to celebrate it. You don't have to take a paid day off. You don't do any of that. It's not a national holiday. And look, if you're LGBTQ trans and you don't want to celebrate Easter, don't celebrate it. And if you're offended when you go into Walmart and they got aisle after aisle after aisle after aisle full of Easter stuff, stay off the aisles. And if you're a Christian and you're offended because today is National Trans Person Visibility Day, then don't celebrate it. That's not hard. It's not difficult. But my God, for the party that complains that everybody on the left is a bunch of snowflakes, there certainly are a whole bunch of snowflakes on the right. Just a bunch. And the fact that people like Robert, and I love Robert, I'm not trying to pick on Robert, but Robert's like, this isn't a story. Why are you talking about it? Because it's a story, because I'm talking about it. And why is it a story? Because when anybody else does it to you, they're snowflakes. But when you, not Robert, you, conservative, Republican, Christian, whatever, on the right, when you guys do it, you're justified.
Well, both sides are really in love with their agenda. So, they're deep in the feels about it.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Sean's got a good question. The one question I would have the administration have done the same thing if National Trans Visibility Day fell on Ramadan. That's a great question. Your mic's not on. Would you turn her mic on? Yeah. That's a great question. Yeah, see, Sean, that's a conversation we can have. Mm-hmm. Instead of stop talking about it. It's not a story.
So for the ignorant here, what's Ramadan?
And Robert says, why not
it's
the gays?
It's a month of Muslim.
It's the Muslim holy month.
Religious holiday.
Yeah. where they
it's
fast and they don't eat until dark. And
it's a big deal.
Sounds like
holiday.
most families in this
I'm not trying to
area.
piss off any Muslims out there, but your religion seems hideous. If I can't eat during the day for a whole month, that just sounds awful.
Think about the NCAA men's and women's teams who have people following Muslims.
Yeah. Outlaw Radio, hold on. We're going to keep this conversation going. We're back after this. I know.
We're back.
All right. Anyway. Okay, let's answer that question. Do you guys think that the Biden administration would have done it if it fell in Ramadan?
So the thing is, I mean, it goes back to the like you said, it's already been going. So it's not like it was premeditated for it to fall on Easter.
Mm-hmm.
If Ramadan happened to be the same time as,
but the question is, do you think they would have though? Do you think the Biden administration? Because I'll answer it first. I think they would have.
Yes,
because the Biden administration is straight up catering to the LGBTQ trans crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they would, only because it gives them more opportunity to cater to the crowd and connect themselves with the agenda and the group. So I think they would. Now, I'm not sold on that. Like, I could very easily be talked the other way that they wouldn't do it because they don't want to piss off all the Muslim folks and all of that. So I mean, I could be talked either way, but I'm like 55-45 thinking that they would probably do it anyway.
What, because of elections?
No, yeah, because of elections and because
how big is the Muslim population?
Oh,
in
it's
the United
huge,
States?
Especially in
percentage.
Not in percentage, very big, but again,
key states.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and again, listen. The Dem agenda is let's leg hump any group that is marginalized, whether they're right or wrong. Let's leg hump them. LGBTQ, leg hump them. Everybody, hold on. We'll continue this on the Facebook side, Outlaw Radio.
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio. Good luck.
Outlaw Radio. Don't forget, Brandy Cruz joins us live on this show in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight. On the 14th.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll have her live by video.
Yep.
Not in studio, which makes me sad, but again, it's a long ass drive for her. So I'm so happy she's going to join us. It'll be fun to have her back on again.
I did extend the invitation that, anytime she finds herself in Kitsap, if it happens to be a Wednesday or Sunday.
Oh, she's open door policy.
Yeah.
We'll call this the Brandy Cruz Radio Network. I don't care.
Yeah.
I will change the name. I will wear whatever uniform she tells me to wear. I'll do whatever. Phil?
Promises.
Promises.
That would be a great idea.
I mean,
Get
that's
some
cool.
of her merch and we wear it on video.
If she wears our merch on her video, we'll trade off. What's that, Phil?
Oh, I was going to say, we have this amazing tech. We can bring Brandy in, or really so many guests. It's really awesome.
I know. We're a state-of-the-art organization here at Outlaw. A couple of comments in the chat. Mick says, celebrating Easter and respecting those of faith have nothing to do with Republicans or Democrats. Okay. There's a lot of Catholics or Democrats when they celebrate Easter as well. You're right. I just don't see the outrage from a lot of Democrats on this issue. Because it was their boy. Biden's their boy.
I don't understand the alignment of the Catholic Church with the Democrat Party, just over the abortion topic.
I've often wondered that.
I don't get it.
I've often wondered that myself, but I don't know.
I scratch my head about lots of stuff, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Catholic
Which is
Church
why you have no hair.
is as much of a church as it is a business.
Oh, but that's true for most churches.
Yeah.
I mean, most churches, and again, in this day and age, you have to run as a business, right?
I would argue they're more business.
Yeah, they are more business. Them and the LDS.
I mean,
the Mormons, man. Listen, Prop 8.
Well, it's also a church.
Mm-hmm.
Prop 8, which was the Gay and Lesbian Marriage Act in California several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The entire reason why that failed the first time around is from two groups. African American men who on exit polling voted hand over fist to deny that right. And again, I'm just talking exit polling. This is not about race. I'm just talking the demographic on the exit polling. African American men, and the other group was the millions and millions of dollars that the Mormon Church spent in lobbying in California to keep that from going through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Mormons are money strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sean said, I don't understand the alignment of the American Hebrew community with the Democrat Party. I don't either.
Yeah.
It just as confusing.
Well, but where's it going to go? I mean, Republicans have not.
Probably independent.
Maybe.
What, the Hebrew community? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, how would they vote?
Yeah. Because they've been aligned with Democrats for so long.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to Dershowitz the other day. I mean, who is Hebrew American, right? Jewish guy. He was explaining that very thing. He's like, he's at a point though. Biden's messed up enough. He's like, no, I can't vote for you. But it involves, some of his policies and whatnot. But yeah, generally he's like Democrat all the way.
Yeah. And Rick said the same thing. Rick said in chat, he said Biden's reelection is in trouble with the Muslims right now over Palestine. So maybe not. I don't disagree with that. I think that if you look at a weak spot in Biden's reelection campaign, it's going to be how he handles that Middle Eastern vote.
Oh yeah.
The Muslims and the people from the Middle East and North Africa that side with Gaza, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, it's what? If I had to guess, 8%?
100,000 in Michigan.
Well, in some of those districts, it'll be a big deal, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're in Michigan, it'll be a big deal. But for Biden's reelection campaign, it's what? 8%? I mean, again, I'm making up numbers, but let's pretend for a second it's 8%.
Mm-hmm.
What's he going to lose? 2% of that 8%?
But
And that 2% is not going to vote for Trump.
Right. But I don't think it's so much Biden as it is the trickle down effect. So those state senators that are in Congress, they're going to feel that impact.
Well,
The House of
Rashida
Representatives,
Tlaib is somebody who's in one of those districts. She's gonna face that.
Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan Omar is another one too that are in districts that are heavy,
Right.
a heavy population of Muslims and of folks from the Middle East. But again, didn't they win pretty convincingly last time around? And if you're going to lose 2 or 3%, does that really matter on the back end? Because they're not going to vote Republican, right?
No.
I mean, they might vote third party, but they're
I
not.
don't think they will because
Maybe they don't vote at all.
Yeah.
Okay, but if they do vote, they're not going to vote Republican, so they vote third party. That really doesn't help the Republicans that are running those districts.
Mm-hmm.
So, Phil?
I was going to say, prepare to laugh, but Biden, taking a knee to the, the Palestinian views and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when, we vote libertarian. It just doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah. But you're right. But he's right. I mean, listen.
But it's building towards something.
Am I wrong?
What is it building for? No, come on. What is it building? Listen, Gary
It's
Johnson.
building to have more parties than just the Dems and just the Republicans.
Gary Johnson.
Yeah, Gary Johnson was
and then after Gary Johnson was Jill Jorgensen.
Yeah, and Spike Cohen.
Yeah. But you didn't see like an incremental increase in voting. In fact, I think the numbers went down from Gary Johnson to Jill Jorgensen.
No, they went up.
They
Did
went
go
up.
They went
yeah.
up. So, and honestly, this year, I think you're going to see a whole bunch of third party voting.
Do you? I
do. RFK, I think, is going to really shake some things up. And
God.
I still think the Libertarian Party is going to, make some pretty good headway this election cycle.
Yeah, I think Trump's a little nervous about RFK.
In other news, the Bears are going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Trump's nervous about RFK, and I'm nervous about RFK because that could put Biden back in the White House.
Yeah.
That scares me too.
And Trump would rather square
Yeah.
off against Biden than RFK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, RFK could, well, I mean, if that's what it goes down to, but it won't. I mean,
No, it won't.
so
Yeah.
it'll still go down to, two major parties.
Yeah.
We're a long way from seeing a contender out of a third.
No,
third
a long
anything.
way. A long way. And by the way, as we talk, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you did hear that our good friend RFK went ahead and made his vice presidential pick.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He announced who he's picking.
Yep.
Silicon Valley attorney and entrepreneur Nicole Shanahan.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about why we think he picked her.
Well, I 2 words: Silicon Valley.
No.
Hold on. Let me explain why. Silicon Valley. You want money coming into your campaign. You want to boost up your war chest. You want to get some money in there. You want to appeal to the techies that are out there.
Do you know who she is?
she's a Silicon Valley attorney, and
she's the wife of the founder,
ex-wife
of one of the founders of
Google.
Yeah,
she made bank.
Yeah, she's got a lot of money.
If she is the VP, she can donate unfettered to the campaign.
Okay,
she is the war chest.
Maybe. Listen, I think this is more about appeal to techies
and appeal to a younger demographic.
Appeal to a younger demographic because she is, how old is she?
38.
Yeah.
38.
Late 30s.
Yeah. Look, he wants to appeal to a younger demographic. He wants to appeal to the techie geeks out there. There's a lot of money in tech, right?
Oh yeah.
But I don't think she's a beneficial pick. Like nobody outside of people banging people that work at Google knows who she is.
No, she's a beneficial pick with the millennials.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, she really
Do
is.
you think the millennials know who she is?
Yes.
Yes.
Does she have a TikTok or an OnlyFans page or an Insta?
I have no idea.
Okay. I don't think they know who she is. I think
she's young. So
she's
they're
young.
gonna know who
she's 38.
We're out of touch. It's a different it's a different generation. We are out of touch.
We're looking at boomers.
What voters do you think this is going to attract?
It's going to attract the millennials.
18 to 35? 18 to 25?
Yeah.
No.
They're still going to think she's old.
No,
she's 38.
No,
she's just this side of 40.
It's going to attract the 30 to 50 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she'll attract the Gen Z as well because she's not a boomer. She's not the grandparent.
I hate to be the guy that tells you this. She is Sarah Palin.
Yeah, she is.
She's Sarah Palin.
I don't disagree.
A nonsensical pick.
She's a smarter Sarah Palin.
Well, but I'm not comparing intellect, right? I don't know much about this girl. She might be dumb as a box of rocks. I don't know. But she's Sarah Palin in the sense that she's a name from out of nowhere that most people won't recognize. It's not really going to add a lot to the ticket. If he had made a wise choice, he would have picked somebody with some credibility and some name recognition. Now, who would have been that person? I have no idea. Who actually likes him or wants to associate with his candidacy? I don't know. But if he wanted to booster his candidacy, he'd have picked somebody with some name recognition that the general public knows, because then they would have been like, oh, really? Oh, that's it. Like John Kucinich. Maybe not him specifically, but somebody with some name recognition. But instead, he has no political background, and he picks somebody else with no political background. He's a lawyer. He picked another lawyer.
Yeah. They're the outsiders.
What are we going to do? Sideshow Bob Ferguson ourselves to death and just sue?
Probably.
Stop it. It just not a great. Just I don't think a great pick. But what do I know?
Well, I mean,
everything.
No. Not.
Gina said Trump 2024. Robert says same applies to the Democrat, Libertarian, and Socialist Party. RFK is a progressive Democrat. Conservatives won't vote for him. He's more of a threat to Biden. Yeah, I agree. I agree, with the exception of
the vote itself.
Well, with the exception of if you are anti-Trump and you're a conservative, who are you going to vote for?
You're kind of stuck.
Well, you're not going to vote for Biden.
No.
They're not going to vote for Biden. So do they vote for the Libertarian candidate? Do they vote for RFK? I think some of them vote for RFK.
I don't know. Haven't figured it out.
I mean, you're one of them.
Yeah.
You're not going to vote for Trump?
Not unless I see something better out of him. I probably
Oh, well, good luck.
I know.
Good luck. Expecting Trump to show up to the party differently is like expecting me to show up with pants on. It's not. Look, I'm voting for Trump right now, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, Trump could be caught masturbating in the backseat of a taxi in Times Square, and I'm going to vote for Trump because the alternative is 4 more years of what we've gotten.
Right.
And 4 more years of what we've gotten is inept leadership, inept international leadership, inflation through the roof, gas prices more than doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And they're propping this economy up right now.
Oh yeah. Well, they always do.
You could vote for, I mean, here in Washington, you could vote for anything. Your vote for Trump will mean nothing.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying, I'm going to vote for Trump no matter what.
Okay.
I'm going to vote for Trump no matter what. And I'm going to vote for whoever the Republican is for the governor's office no matter what. Because I cannot imagine 4 years of Sideshow Bob.
Oh, God.
I can't imagine 4 more years of even more progressive, aggressive policies. I just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Semi Bird, I'm voting for him. If it's Dave Reichert, I'm voting for him. If it's a Rock, I'm voting for him. If it's The Rock, I'm voting for him. If it's iRock, I'm voting for them.
Yeah. Anybody but Bob Ferguson. Yeah.
Yeah. Gina said Trump actually loves America. Stop it, Gina. Like, I like you. Trump doesn't care about America. He cares about the digits in his bank account.
Mm-hmm.
He's a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
He makes smart business decisions sometimes.
He's a populist.
Yeah. But let's not pretend he loves America, because I don't think he does. I mean, not more than anybody else. Like, are you going to tell me you think Trump loves America more than Biden? I don't think he does. I think they both equally love America. They just show their love in different ways. Donald Trump shows his love by selling Bibles and tennis shoes. And Joe Biden shows his love by trying not to doze off at a press conference. But I don't think one loves America any more than anybody else, but I could be wrong. No, I'm not. We're back after this. Is Outlaw Radio. Outlaw Radio. Yeah, Gina said agree to disagree. It's okay, Gina. I still love you. I'm glad you support the show and glad you're here. And I think that Trump is a businessman. And you know, I don't think Trump loves the U.S. any more than me or Lori or Phil or Paul. I mean, I think he loves the U.S. more than Tom, because Tom's a libertarian and they're just delusional.
Whoa.
But
how did I get left out of that?
Damn.
Are you a card-carrying libertarian, or do you just associate with one sometimes when it feels good?
A card carrying? There's a card?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's a special handshake. You have to know the handshake to get into the meetings.
I was gonna see if I get in with the Mises Caucus.
Yeah. Caucus. He said caucus.
Well, they call themselves the Mecox for short.
Oh.
Who's that?
It's a real thing.
What is?
Yeah.
The Mises Caucus.
The Mises Caucus? What is that?
It's a longer story.
Oh, okay.
But it's
themselves
a real
the
libertarian
Mecox.
thing.
It's a libertarian thing. All right.
Yeah. I could tell you, but then I have to kill you.
No, perfect.
No.
Perfect.
We'd bring you in.
All right. When we come back in break, we're going to talk really quick about what's going on in Israel. When I say that and Tom laughs, I know it's about something in chat.
No, it's something in chat.
I say, with what's going on in Israel, and Tom's like,
Oh, are
Sorry.
we talking about Robert Parker?
Yes. I saw
what
that
did he
pop
say?
up. It was like, what?
Oh, the Happy Dude in Dresses Day.
Hopefully Robert will call in.
Robert can call whenever he wants
call
to.
in.
How much time do we have left?
10 seconds.
All right. It's Outlaw Radio Network, brought to you by Tom's Liver. Back after this.
My liver?
Your liver. Your
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio. Good luck.
By the way, one quick piece of local news, and I think Robert alluded to this in the chat earlier, but there was a fatal stabbing in downtown Bremerton.
Oh, that was Kevin Nelson.
Oh, was that Kevin Nelson? Okay. Yeah, not far from where Kevin Nelson's at, actually. Fatal stabbing at the 7-Eleven at the corner of 6th and Park. If you've ever been to that 7-Eleven at 6th and Park, you need to get a tetanus shot.
I was there last night.
Yeah, it is a questionable neighborhood at best.
Yes, sir.
I worked there in the late 90s at that 7-Eleven, right after I moved to Kitsap.
You're
I needed
a
to
brave man.
Needed to find a second job, got a job at the 7-Eleven, and used to be able to work in there and look out the window and watch the hookers walk. This was late 90s, right? So you could watch the prostitutes walk around outside. It was just fun to watch. But now there's no hookers.
Idea of fun.
Now there's no hookers. There's just tons of homeless people and fights and mentally ill folks that can't get help. People that have been kicked out of Salvation Army. The occasional stabbing. You know,
it's not good. So we were.
No, it's not at all.
No, we were down there last night for a show.
There's a show out there for sure.
Yeah, no, Dennis DJ'd a show last night for his nephew.
Where at?
Nice.
At the Masonic Temple. So
at the Mason Lodge. Okay.
Yeah, so we, I was like, okay, we need Red Bull, we need Gatorade, those, essentials.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a scary place to stop, man.
Oh, I bet.
Well, and here's the deal too. Like, I feel really bad I know the guy that owns that place. His name is Randy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a manager. Like when I worked there, I worked for him, but he wasn't the owner at the time. Nice guy, really nice guy. Like Randy's from India, great, every stereotype, whatever, fine. But he's a really nice guy.
He was a nice. I think
really.
He was the guy that sold me my Gatorade last night.
Probably. Really nice guy. I feel bad for him. The city of Bremerton, and this is something Greg Wheeler is going to have to answer for when he goes up for re-election, is this inability of the city of Bremerton to do anything to fix anything downtown with crime and homeless and drugs and mental health and all of that. Now, they're going to say, well, we're doing everything we can, and we have state laws, and we have to have a number of beds. And look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to drive past the 7-Eleven at the corner of 6th and Park and realize you probably need to have a cop down there. Like literally every minute of every hour of every day.
He's outnumbered. He did 2.
No, but what I'm saying is you need a constant police presence down there. And by the way, the police department isn't that far away from there. It's over on Burwell.
It's a block. Not that far.
It's maybe a mile.
Blocks.
Yeah, 3 blocks.
It's not much.
Burwell's basically third.
Is it? Okay.
3 blocks and a 1 over, so 4.
Yeah. So look, I think that if I'm Greg Wheeler and I'm hoping to get reelected, boy, I better figure something out about that.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, something's got to change, and nothing's changed. And this stabbing does not look like it's a random act. Looks like 2 dudes that knew each other. They had an altercation. They went their separate ways. They then came back, had a second altercation. It's a dress shop. Altercation. One dude pulled out a knife, stabbed the other dude repeatedly, and killed him.
Oh.
So that's what happened.
Wow.
Awful, really bad. But it is indicative. Listen, there was a woman that was raped in the parking garage elevator. And you want people to move in downtown and live downtown?
Nope.
I don't think so, Haas.
Maybe one of the new facilities that have, security and private parking with gates and
Well, but
fences.
That's fine if you never leave your panic room.
Right.
But if you want to walk down to the ferry terminal and grab a bite to eat at one of the restaurants or go get ice cream from the ice cream shop that's down there.
Why would anyone do that?
Because that ice cream is wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm talking about the people that live down there.
Mm-hmm.
So you live in one of those apartments right there on the waterfront. And you're like, I think I want to go get. It's not called Cold Stone anymore. Whatever it's called, it used to be Cold Stone. I want to go down and get a Cold Stone ice cream. I'm gonna bull crap you are. So you can risk getting mugged or raped or stabbed on your way down to get ice cream? Or you want to go over to the South Pacific to that bar over there and do karaoke? I don't effing think so.
Well, you just got to put your body armor on.
No, screw that, man.
Well, make sure when you go to the ice cream, get one to go so you have something to pack on the wound.
Yeah.
Keep yourself,
Listen, when I moved out of Bremerton.
Sure it's vanilla.
When I moved out of Bremerton, now I didn't live downtown. I lived up near Safeway on 11th. But when I moved out of Bremerton, I was like, thank God I survived this. Thank God my kids survived this.
Oh, I moved away right after Pendleton Place opened.
Yeah.
And I mean, the facility itself is great, but all the surrounding areas have gone to pot.
Yeah. And listen, and what are they doing? What are they doing downtown? What are they doing? You know what they're doing? They're doing that Quincy, what are they calling it?
Oh, the Quincy Jones Square?
Quincy Jones Square. Now listen, I love that idea. I really do. I love the. What are you pointing at?
Oh, we got Paul joining us.
Oh, Paul's joining us. Okay, let's bring Paul in. I'll add him so you don't accidentally hang up on him again, Phil. I'm just kidding. Listen. They're doing Quincy Jones Square, which is a great idea. It's freaking fabulous. I love the idea.
Quincy Jones, like the Michael Jackson producer guy.
Yeah. He's from Bremerton, or lived in Bremerton for a while.
Pretty much anything that guy touched was gold.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Quincy Jones Square might be really cool. For the 1 square block that it is, But if you have a dumpster fire on the north end and a dumpster fire on the south end and a dumpster fire on the east end and a dumpster fire on the west end, if Quincy Square is surrounded by dumpster fire, guess what? People aren't going to want to go down there and deal with the dumpster fire.
It's going to smell funny.
I don't want to get stabbed. I don't want to get raped in an elevator. I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to be assaulted by a mentally somebody suffering from mental health issues in the street because nobody will do something with them. Well, I like Greg Wheeler, but that dude's got to figure something out with the city council to make Bremerton safe, and they haven't done it. And if you're going to go back and look, he's done a lot of good stuff with development all across town, and there's a whole bunch of new stuff going in and new developments and stuff. A lot of that can go on his desk as an achievement. But if you can't handle the homeless issue, you can't handle the mental health issues, you can't handle the drug issues, you can't handle the crime issues in your downtown corridor where a lot of your money should be coming from in tax revenue and sales revenue and property tax income, you can't fix that? Boy, you better find a new job. Right, Paul?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't. It's hard to give an opinion to come into the middle of that. So.
I did that to you on purpose because you just joined us. I was just picking on you.
How
are you tonight, Paul? Happy Easter, my friend.
Yeah, it is. It is Easter, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. It snuck up on me, man. It totally snuck up on me. Like I had to rush to the store yesterday to buy stuff to make Easter baskets. Yeah. I felt so unprepared. It was really a point off my man/dad card. So, but I made up for it.
You did it last minute, but you still got it done, right?
I got it done. Got it done. Yep.
Hey,
got it done like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get your kids their National Transgender Day of Visibility basket? I'm just curious.
So, well, you really okay. So I'm going to give you a rare opportunity to laugh at my expense. So, two boys, one girl, right? So daughter, she's really easy to get an Easter basket for, right? Got her the pink one. No big deal. And then I was looking at a couple of them that were left, and I saw a white one and a blue one. Okay, no problem. Perfect. Two boys, a white one and a blue one. Didn't realize until now, choose your reaction carefully.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be good.
Because as I filled them with candy, still didn't notice anything. White one and a blue one. Took them, put them in front of the kids while the kids were sound asleep, so they'd wake up and go, "Oh wow, look, a little bunny that lays eggs was here, and has candy for droppings." And in the morning, Aiden, the really intelligent one, gets up, comes walking out, and he's holding his Easter basket.
The other kid is not intelligent. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, but Aiden did test for special.
Yeah,
anyway,
okay.
Anyway, point was just he comes and he brings out his Easter basket and he goes, "This is really cool." He goes, "Dad, I was so happy that the Easter bunny came." He goes, "But is he now? Mind you, he's 9. You guys have all met him. He's been in studio.
Good kid,
right? Kid holds up the Easter basket, turns it around so I can see the design on the front. He goes, "Is the Easter bunny trying to tell me something?" And he holds it up. It's a damn unicorn.
Good job, dude. Great job.
Epic fail.
That is a
epic
victory.
fail.
That's a victory for you, man.
No, that's fun. He has a sense of humor.
That is a victory for you.
It was a serious epic fail.
So in a way,
then, what do you do? What do you do?
You laugh with him.
I did. I played it off, man. I played it off beautifully. Yeah. Well, no, I told him clearly the Easter bunny was confused. What else was I going to say?
You tell him not only is today Easter, but it's actually Transgender Day of Visibility Day, and you wanted to respect whatever he wanted to identify with. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You're a good dad.
Something was visible, that's for sure. And it looked and it was a multicolored horn. So never saw that when I bought it. Never saw it until the kid turned it around and showed it to me. So yeah.
Speaking of multicolored horns, don't forget Lori's beads. Phil?
So I'm just curious, Paul, was it a proud kind of basket? Very proud?
No. I don't think that there was anything more behind it, to be honest. Like, I don't think it was any marketing thing. I think it was like legitimately they were making like a unicorn basket. I don't think it was any more or less than that. It just was funny for a 9-year-old to turn it around. Like, he didn't get it. He doesn't know nothing about that stuff. He just like, is the Easter bunny trying to tell me something? Like, what do you mean, kid? What do you think he's trying to tell you? I don't understand. Yeah.
Phil, go ahead.
Anyway,
I got one other funny one. Is this going to be the beginning of him voting libertarian? I mean, rainbows and unicorns?
Right. Well, no, not if he wants a house over his or a roof over his head. I mean, he can be whatever he wants.
Unicorns, Hello Kitty. Unicorns, Hello Kitty. It's kind of the same.
No, no. Listen, I told him on multiple occasions he can be whatever he wants when he grows up. Whatever he wants. He could be gay. He could be trans. All that stuff. I'm going to love him no matter what. If he does grow up and registers a Democrat, however, he's out of the will and disowned. So,
listen, I think you should encourage your kids to register as Democrat. Because if we get enough people to register and vote as Democrat, we can totally screw with the primary process.
Man, well, there's something to that, isn't there? Yeah, there is absolutely something to that.
I think in this state, all Republicans should register as Democrat and then just F up the whole primary process. Get Mike the Mover would be the nominee, right? Like, if Republicans could consolidate together into one, and that would get rid of the whole name your party thing. If they started doing it to screw a party, that would get rid of it.
Yep.
I think it's a great idea.
It is a good idea, Kevin, because I don't know how else the people can send a message about this whole. You've got to vote for one party and one party only in the primaries. How else do you send a message? You send a message by giving a big middle finger, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a legitimate. Yeah, that's
all Republicans should register as Democrat and then just screw with the process. Like, you find the most obscure, weird Mike the Mover, whoever the spaceman dude was, whatever, and you just throw.
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah,
Supreme.
Yeah, and you just throw all your weight behind him and just screw with the process.
Of course, Vermin Supreme was a libertarian, so.
No, but I'm just saying anybody can nominate themselves as a Democrat candidate, no matter what they are.
That's true.
Yeah.
It'd be great. All right. We're going to go to break. When we come back out of break, top of the hour news, we'll talk a little bit on the Facebook side. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on in Israel, because it's a cluster. And I don't mean the fun kind. Outlaw Radio. Back after this.
Isn't that a candy bar?
Yes. Paul, did you get to have Easter with your wife? Was she around for Easter?
No. She had to. She was here for a little bit. I got to make her a lunch.
Boogers.
That's good.
So
boogers.
Yeah, it was better than nothing. She didn't get to go to the family dinner, and she took our daughter. She took Jocelyn's dad is finally doing something with her. He's taking her to Disneyland this week. So
what?
Yeah. So listen, the guy hasn't done anything with her in years, because he made her nervous. He was drinking when she was with him. And so my wife had to basically take him to court. He had a blow and go in his vehicle because of a DUI. And as soon as that blow and go came out, he was drinking and driving again. So he made our daughter really nervous. And so she came to us and was very honest and said, I don't want to be with dad. He's drinking, 4 Locos and stuff while he's driving. And so, yeah, at that point, you got to do something. You can't, And so he's finally taken her to do something.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, it is good. I'm glad that he's doing it. I'll tell you, man, she's got his Russian mentality. That dude is 100% Russian, and it shows. Whew. Definitely cultural differences. Differences.
Listen, it's I'm not going to say that. Never mind. It's not my story to share. All right.
It could be.
No, it's not my story to share. I'm gonna bite my tongue. So hard for me to do that. Let's check comments in chat, shall we? Robert said Cassandra Hansen for 2024 Washington governor. Look her up. I did just look it up. I don't even want to know what that is. So if you could give some information in chat, because I don't want to be wrong on what I think you're pointing out to me, Robert.
He said Cassandra Hansen.
Yeah, Cassandra M. Hansen is running for governor as a Republican.
Okay. I wouldn't even have known that. I had no idea there was anybody except Dave and Semi.
I think Robert is toying with us, is what I think
he did say look her up, LOL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Robert put more facts in chat.
Put more facts in. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. I did. Can I tell?
Because I think I know what he's saying, but yeah.
I know that you guys can appreciate this. So I had a bit of an Easter miracle, which was kind of cool.
You finally had the baby?
Wow, Kev.
I don't think that's kind of a miracle.
Well, because the baby was stillborn, but thanks for pointing that out. It's no. So we thought we were going to lose the mini for the last week. She hadn't eaten. Yeah, it was, and she made a complete recovery and turnaround yesterday and today. So,
what is the mini? Is that the mini horse?
The miniature horse.
Ah, you're breaking up. The miniature
for crying out loud! Hey, I know the horse.
I do believe he said it was a lap
miniature horse.
Yeah, lap horse.
Okay, a lap horse.
Sure, miniature horse, lap horse, whatever.
I've never even heard that term before, Phil.
Fun fact, miniature horse, the only other animal that can be an ADA service animal.
There was actually
other than a dog.
Yep, there was one.
No, there's way more than that.
No, ADA, dogs and miniature horses only.
So when I worked at the IRS, we had a federal pamphlet that we shared that listed off a list of allowable support animals.
Sure, they can have a list that's beyond the ADA. Yes.
Oh, okay. So the ADA is just those two, but the support
the legal requirement.
We were allowing monkeys.
Well, otherwise you couldn't work there, right?
I want an emotional support monkey.
I would imagine a monkey would
such a
actually
bad joke. Can I make a really inappropriate joke?
I mean,
I would name him Trojo. Okay.
20 seconds.
Kevin.
There was a lady that had her support horse at the pet store across from the tasting room.
Really?
Yeah, it was quite a sight to behold. It was it was miniature, but it wasn't that miniature. I've seen some pretty dang small miniature horses. This was not quite that small.
As usual, Kevin Chambers' comments do not necessarily reflect.
Why are you full naming me?
The posts of Outlaw Radio Network.
The older people, I know you're getting a little edgy right now, but you better get into me because I don't want to bum you out, but I'm the future of America.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
Good evening, my fellow citizens.
It's kind of stony, huh?
It's a real thing. A radio signal from another world.
Check this out. The United States government presents
the Outlaw Radio Network.
To provide guidance to mankind.
All right, it's the Outlaw Radio Network, hour number 2. Paul will join us back here in a moment. He got a phone call that kicked him off. Listen, folks, the lesson you take from Paul is if you live in the middle of nowhere, don't be surprised when your internet never works. But we love
it's
Paul,
the 21st century. We should have better internet.
We do.
We do. Paul doesn't, but we do. We are fine. Paul is not.
All right. Just for the record, I didn't call Paul to kick him off. It wasn't me this time.
Yeah, this time. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on over in Israel. I'm just going to give you the overview. There's been more Israeli raids in Gaza, one of them outside of a hospital. It was an Israeli drone strike that was on tents outside of the Al-Aqsa medical complex in central Gaza. There were thousands of people, according to the article, sheltering in the area. Listen, I don't know if I believe anything in these news stories that come out of Israel about the innocent people targeted or hurt or whatever. Because remember the last time that hospital got hit, everybody was up in arms until it came out like 5 days later that Israel was right. And there were actually,
rockets.
Well, rockets and insurgents camping out in the basement of the hospital. Look, I hate to break it to you folks. You camp out in a hospital, that hospital loses its protective status. I mean, if you've got rocket launchers and grenades and military outposts and stuff, and you're using the hospital as cover, and before any of you leftist dimwits get all pissed off at me, keep in mind that the terrorists that went across the border into Israel basically went into a concert full of a lot of women, and the things they did to those women were heinous. So you can't claim moral high ground about protecting a hospital when you're ignoring the fact of what happened to those poor people on the Israeli side when that whole event started. The other major thing going on, though, is that anti-government protests are getting out of hand in Israel. There's a large group of people that want to see Netanyahu resign. There's a large group of people that want to see Netanyahu broker a peace deal to get the rest of the hostages back. Netanyahu just went in for, I think it was a hernia surgery earlier today. But he talked with the reporters ahead of time. He has stood fast that he's not going to go anywhere and nothing's going to change. The longer this thing drags on, man, the worse this gets for Israel. I mean, this may be Israel's Vietnam. Not same reasons, but same outcome, right?
Same political tension.
Well, yeah, and same outcome, right? You become thoroughly divided. Your nation is arguing with itself over what to do. Personally, if I was an Israeli, which I'm not, I would be like, kick those jackwagons in the nuts, man. Mess them up for what they did to us. But I understand that there's family members that there's people that have family members that are still held hostage they believe are still alive. That are like, dude, do something to get them back. But I don't think Hamas is going to let them go. The human shield's all they got.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you negotiate it. And I shudder to think what those hostages have gone through.
Mm-hmm.
I shudder to think about it.
How many do you think are left?
Especially if they're female.
I've heard that there's 130.
Yeah.
I think is what they've estimated.
But do they have proof of life?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably not.
I don't know.
I honestly, I mean, it's been a long time since that attack.
And are you going to believe Hamas when they say we got 130?
No.
Probably not.
No.
You know, and you feel bad for the family members, right? Because they're just, do something to bring our people home. Like, I get it. I would be the exact same way if I had a loved one that was missing over there. I'd be the exact same way. But golly, man, Israel didn't ask for this. And I got a lot of crap on my social media too from people that are like, we support Hamas, LGBTQ for Hamas.
They would be the first ones killed.
They'd be the first ones stoned to death.
I still don't understand that. That's like willfully ignorant.
Yeah, very much so. Because if they knew.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get the standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, these people are oppressed. Well, okay, that's your perception. Okay, but do you understand really that it's such a huge disconnect culturally?
Yeah,
and people are trying to view the whole thing through Western eyes, and it just doesn't work.
But you know what it is? It's a bunch of people supporting something. Not because they know about it, not because they understand it, but because it goes against what the boomers want. You know what I mean? Like, I firmly believe that a lot of the left, the younger left, are choosing sides not because they know enough about it to know. It's because, well, this is what this older generation wants to do, so we're just going to pick the opposite because the older generation must be wrong.
Yeah.
And that's really where I think this comes from.
Well, the culture war between the boomers and the millennials is, I don't understand it. I don't. I mean, us Gen Xers are in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow we got skipped by both generations. I don't understand.
We were too busy partying. we were too drunk. Phil,
I'm just reading something here from a friend who is in Israel. She was, she's a tour guide. So she's not too political, but she was sharing some things. And one of them, I don't know, I just found it interesting. Is basically, the Arab population in Israel versus the surrounding Arab countries.
Mm-hmm.
any idea what the Arab versus Jewish populations like increases and decrease look like? So in this case, the surrounding countries, we're talking North Africa, and then the surrounding Arab countries, decrease like 99.83% of the Jewish population has decreased. That's significant. That's a rounding error away from 100%, right? Whereas Israel, if you go back in history from 48 to today, gone from 156,000 Arabs to 2.2 million increase. Like, I don't know, it's just, and they're saying Israel's not the place, they're hate. I mean, like, then why are they allowing the increase? It doesn't.
Listen, the people that side with Palestine and the Gaza Strip and the West Bank have some really valid arguments, right? I've talked about this for years on this show. Israel will send an armed helicopter across the border into Gaza Strip or the West Bank to go after a suspected terrorist, and they'll take out an entire apartment building to get one terrorist. And goddamn any innocents that are caught in the middle of that. I have an issue with that.
Collateral damage.
Yeah, but again, I have an issue with that.
Right. No, I do too.
Israel controls all the power and all the water in Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Okay, so if you are really set on giving them any level of self-determination, then you give them their own self-determination, and then when they F up and find out, then you deal with them harshly. But, Phil?
Yeah, but what's stopping neighboring countries from providing resources? Egypt has no interest in supporting. I mean, they're bordering with Egypt there, Gaza, south.
Right.
They want nothing to do with it. Why aren't the other Arab countries coming to, come to our country? Well, no, they don't want nothing to do with it.
No. And listen, all I'm suggesting is that the people who have issues with Israel's treatment of Gaza Strip and the West Bank have some good conversations to have. Right? The flip side of it is, if you keep sending terrorists across the border into Israel, how do you expect to make any progress? Because Israel has no reason to... Israel has no reason to trust the Palestinians in Gaza Strip or the West Bank to do anything other than show up with suicide vests or guns or bombs. That's all Israel can count on. So Israel does some really questionable stuff. I get it. They're good conversations to have. But as long as you're hopping across the border, killing a whole bunch of innocent civilians and hopping back across the border, you effed around, you found out. I feel bad for the civilian population in Gaza. But the civilian population in Gaza is responsible for the people that are leading Gaza. And if you don't like what the people that are leading Gaza are doing, then you overthrow them, or you vote them out, or you do something. You're responsible for your leadership.
That's kind of a hard line to take. Putin just got reelected. Do you think that was a legit election?
No.
87%. Yeah, right. So, but I mean, if you're a dissenter in Russia, you disappear or you end up in Siberia.
Right.
So it's not, I can't imagine it being too terribly different in Gaza.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you have to look at the population in Gaza. I think 2.1 million. And I think right after October 7th, they mentioned that 83% of that 2.1 million is women and children. And the men that are there are part of, the whole Hamas or some sort of leadership structure connected to Hamas. Yeah. So, I mean, there you go.
Robert said Palestinians were dancing in the streets and cheering as Jewish babies were being burned and beheaded, while Jewish women were being raped and having their breasts cut off. View the unredacted photos and tell me how you can support Palestine. Again, I make a differential between Palestine and Hamas. I think there's a lot of innocent people in Palestine that are feeling the brunt of what Hamas did. And so I'm not willing to lock them all up together and say they're all terrorists and they all hate Israel and they all whatever. They are victims. A lot of the civilians are victims of the society they live in and what is sold to them. They're not getting clean reporting. They're not getting clean news. They're not getting factual anything. They're getting what's being handed down by Hamas. So they're basically brainwashed their entire lives to believe X, Y, and Z, one of which is the U.S. is bad and Israel's bad and everybody hates them.
Well, we feed that narrative, though.
Well, we certainly don't help it.
Right. I mean, we send over, armament, we get into the conflict or whatever. A 30-year-old man is killed, but we protect the woman and the child. Well, the 10-year-old child grows up that, hey, the Americans killed my father.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to grow up to be a terrorist. And the cycle continues. So if we just leave the damn place alone.
We can't do that, though.
But then we will always have this cycle.
Well, but we can't do that. Because when we aren't involved hand over fist, we'll get 9/11 again.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
We'll get terror attacks in other places. Remember the Beirut barracks bombing?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen, Russia's a prime example of why you can't just leave it alone. Russia's not involved in that neck of the woods right now. I mean, they support Syria, but they're not. There's been no major Russian interaction or anything down there for a while.
So Hamas, good grief, can't remember the name. Hamas. Any of the Islamic extremists have been hitting various targets in Moscow for a long, Russia at large for a long time, and nothing's happened in 20 years. Minus this most recent attack.
Well, look, Russia is our enemy essentially.
Well, and
this makes me feel good that
militant
ISIS is not trying to buddy up with Russia, because that would scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
No, Russia is just as much a turd as the United States. If you ask ISIS or Hamas or Hezbollah or PIJ or on.
I think a reasonable person can feel bad for what's happening to the civilians in Gaza, and the children and the women and the elderly that are stuck in the middle of this fight that Hamas escalated. So I think that you can have pity or concern or sadness for them, while also saying, kind of brought it on yourselves, didn't you? I mean, it's your leadership. Your leadership did this. If you don't approve of your leadership, overthrow your leadership. You know what I mean? I mean, so I think you can have both ways. Got to feel bad for the innocents that are stuck in the middle. But what is Israel supposed to do?
But most of those innocents are women and children.
Yeah,
and how are women and children going to overthrow?
Especially in the Muslim faith.
Yeah, especially in that
You're
part of the
such a
world.
Sexist, Tom. You're saying women can't rise up?
Yes.
Okay.
Not in
The
the
views
Muslim
of
faith.
Not in
the views of Tom do not represent
the Middle
those of
East.
the Outlaw Radio Network or our sponsors, except for Lori Speeds, who believes it's always best to make it rise up in there. All right.
And possibly Paulsville for all.
Oh.
Possibly.
I forgot all about those little turd burglars.
Burglar, huh?
A turd burglar. Hello, Paulsville for all. Sorry, I forgot about you. It's Easter.
Part of Turd Ferguson.
It's Easter. I know you guys don't celebrate that up there at Paulsville for all. There you go. All right. I was hoping Paul would come back to get his thoughts on it, but Paul's not back yet.
Just to enter another element to this, Israel, obviously, the people, Hamas and the whole Palestine thing. There is a certain, dare I say, religious element to this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are we in agreement that the general consensus is the whole peace in Israel type thing is, Palestine pretty much would be happy if Israel just didn't exist anymore, and Israel's would be happy if they would just coexist peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it is a hard one to make peace with when, one is good for peace and the other is good for your genocide.
What?
Although they argue that, the Israel's after the genocide of the Palestinians. I don't know.
Well,
they ain't trying very hard.
The problem with the conversation here, though, is we don't understand all the intricacies. Everyone talks about it like it's black and white.
It's not.
And
don't make it racial, Tom.
Oh, jeez.
Black and white, on and off, left or right, up or down,
Dogs
binary.
Up, down, left, right, BA select start.
It's a contra indication.
Yes, it is. Good one.
Do you have an Amazon Dot at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell that to your Dot.
What does it do?
She goes into super mode.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there's 2 or 3 different responses to it, so you can play with it a little
awesome.
bit. The Konami code is kind
Speaking of super mode, reminds me of a funny. So, wife was a little upset at me, so I, said give her a cape and said, "Now you're super mad." I don't remember anything after that.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
Phil, it amazes me that you're married and I can't get women to stay with me for more than 10 days. It's amazing.
Hang around with me. Maybe I'll give you some ideas.
Great. I'm doomed. I'm just doomed. My life is over as we know it. All right.
Okay, all right. That's my role.
It's over. We're all gonna die. I love it, Eeyore. Poo. All right. The issue with Netanyahu is going to be curious though, because if they're able to force him out,
Oh, they've wanted him gone.
well, they
months.
have, and he was in significant political trouble before this happened.
Yes.
So he was already on the verge of getting ousted before it happened.
Yeah, this actually helped him, I think,
Well,
to stay
yeah,
the
yeah.
course for a while.
Well, listen, when you have an enemy to rally against,
Mm-hmm.
it's much easier to get over your own self-divisions if you have an enemy to rally against. And the Israelis, I'm not saying it was a benefit, but it's beneficial to them right now for Netanyahu to have that enemy.
Right.
Just like us with 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
For about 6 minutes, we put all that political divide aside and held hands and sang Kumbaya.
Yep.
Because we were against what happened on 9/11 before we went back to hating each other.
Mm-hmm.
Israel is coming out of that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And if Netanyahu gets ousted, the question is, does the next leader do anything different? Do they sue for peace? Do they try to figure out a way to get out of this and get some of those hostages back?
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, God, it's such a bad idea. Because if you don't dismantle Hamas completely,
Right.
and tear the roots out,
Mm-hmm.
that sucker's growing back.
But how do you do that?
But how do you do that? Because basically it's like a thistle or
Right.
a weed or
Starting
something. I mean,
to
you
sound
can't take it out
Right.
without taking out everybody.
Yeah, going in and militarily
Mhm.
removing Hamas
You
is
can't
just
excise.
making another generation of Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
Phil?
I mean, sadly, it kind of sounds very Old Testament.
Yeah, I mean, you can go fire and brimstone, kill them all.
The people are wiped out. And I personally find that hard.
It's
like,
distasteful.
But that's good. That means I'm not seared into killing people, but that's a hard one. But that is what was done in the past. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to take like you said, you got to take the whole thistle out. You got to take the root, everything. And that's hard.
Well, I have another way. I have an idea how to do it.
How what?
Okay.
Did you figure out time travel?
No. The first thing you do is you dismantle Hamas completely. You bomb, destroy, level any infrastructure that they have. And then yeah. But no, they haven't, because they haven't really got into southern Gaza yet.
Okay.
But
right?
Who is you? Is you Israel, or is you the US getting involved?
Israel. And then Israel has to do the Marshall Plan. You guys remember what the Marshall Plan was? The Marshall Plan was the plan after World War II that basically had the U.S. go in and help rebuild all the stuff that we bombed.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the issue in Gaza and in the West Bank is that they are poor, beyond poor. They have nothing. They are destitute. And so when you are living in that kind of destitution, that kind of loss of hope, that kind of poverty, you will grab onto anything that will save you.
Right.
So what you do is you go in and you elevate the standard of living. You give them a way to see, wait a minute, Israel's not all that bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're rebuilding our houses. They're giving us state-of-the-art infrastructure. They're building internet. They're fixing our roads. They're giving us a good life.
But
so we're not living in a shack. We're actually going to be treated like at least second world citizens. Maybe not first world, but second world citizens.
But there's still the cultural issue, the cultural divide between the Jewish state and the Arab state.
Mm-hmm.
And again, what you're talking about is starting it militarily. But
you have to, because if you leave any semblance of Hamas alive, they will they will spoil the vine.
But they're going to come back.
Yeah,
Phil,
they will.
to his point, if you don't go in there, put it in the infrastructure. But if you don't go in and police it, they're just going to tear out the infrastructure, and Hamas reappears and builds all their nasty stuff from the infrastructure.
I agree.
I mean, they've been pouring millions into it, and it just feeds Hamas because it just gets diverted.
But you have to restore hope with the population. Because if they see there's a better life they're getting than Hamas is trying to screw with, they're more likely to cooperate.
It's very Western of you.
It is very Western of me.
It's very Western.
Because guess what? I was born in the West.
That's what you are. That's your perception.
Right.
But it doesn't work there.
All right, Outlaw Radio
Network.
You guys can quit telling me how wrong I am after this. All right, Outlaw Radio. Bottom of the hour break. Let's check our comment thread. Robert shared some videos. Some websites that show photos and videos. Robert should have given a disclaimer. Some of those can be pretty awful.
Because Hamas is pretty awful.
No, I agree.
It's in the title.
Listen, Hamas. Listen, everything about that is gross.
Mm-hmm.
I am merely suggesting that I can understand that there's really 4 angles to this story, right? There's the Israeli military angle.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Hamas military angle. There's the Israeli civilian angle and the Palestinian civilian angle.
You forgot the 5th.
What's the 5th?
The Arab world.
Yeah, all the cultural history. There's there is culture there that
but that intertwines into what I was referencing, right?
Right, but the problem is that's the intricacy and the complication of it.
Mm-hmm.
We Westerners do not understand that women are second-class citizens. We can't wrap our head around that here.
Yeah. Actually, the boy children are second class until they become men. Women and girls. Women are third and girls are fourth.
In Palestine, right?
Not in Muslim.
In
Muslim,
in extreme, in very conservative Muslim countries.
Yeah. And Israel is like Portland or Seattle or San Francisco because they're liberal compared to the rest of the Muslim world or the Arab world, Middle East. And then you have the rest of that area just up in arms because women are wearing bikinis in Israel and they're, wearing short skirts or pants or whatever, and they're not wearing hijabs.
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio. Good luck.
Outlaw Radio, still not sure what happened to Paul. Maybe he'll be back. He's like a butterfly. And butterflies are free to fly.
Shoot fly.
Fly away. Fly away. You know that song, Elton John? You're a butterfly. Butterflies are free to fly.
I don't know.
Someone saved my life tonight. That one, yeah.
Sorry, I was running a little late. I got a little distracted by the graphic content. Oh my gosh.
Were you looking at his links?
I'm thinking of Daniel.
Yeah, I won't look at his links.
Daniel, my brother. You are
I just ate.
Yeah, I'm not going to look at his graphic content.
Yeah, me either.
The horrors of what they've done to those people is just...
No, I've heard about the horrors. That's all that I need to know is what I've heard. I don't need to see photos. I know that I did see some coverage on some online news reporting that showed some of the bedrooms where some of those toddlers were at.
Yeah.
With the blood all over the walls. And listen, that was enough. That tells me enough.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not sticking up for Hamas at all.
No.
And as I said earlier, I'm not even really sticking up for Palestine because when your leaders are out of bounds, it is your job to take care of the leaders, right? I mean, Nazi Germany did what they did because the population allowed them to do it. So the people of Palestine have an obligation to stand up against their leadership if they don't agree. Now, again, that's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really hard. I get that.
Women.
Yeah, they're going to get mowed over.
That is mostly women and children.
Yep.
Again, I get it.
Yeah.
But listen, they just need to do what women did during suffrage and quit putting out.
I don't think they really have a choice.
You've got that cultural issue
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's not an option.
Yeah, it's not. It's death or you put out.
Well.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, by the way, I want my money back.
What?
From what?
That eclipse is coming and it's not really going to impact Washington State. I would like my money back.
Oh.
What did you buy?
Yeah.
All my tax money.
Oh.
If the government can't do their job right and make that that eclipse like go over Washington, then I've had enough.
Well, you need to write an email to Bill Gates because he's been, working on the weather and
I know.
making updates.
It's the HARP. It's the HARP. Are there any of those conspiracy theory things you guys believe in?
What do you mean?
Like the HARP, Bigfoot, shut up, Dennis. Loch Ness Monster, UFOs, JFK, 9/11, any of those things, any of those like outlandish, weird conspiracy theory things you guys actually believe in?
I'm not joking about Bill Gates and the weather thing because I applied to the subsidiary.
God's sakes.
No, he has a subsidiary lab not connected to the foundation.
Right.
Working on changing weather patterns to make farming more efficient and stuff like that. That's not a joke.
I'm sure they're researching it, but that's not a conspiracy. I mean,
well, he also bought thousands of acres off of the Mississippi River, and he owns land or water rights too.
I want to go to Mississippi. Phil?
River.
I was going to say, is Young Earth a conspiracy theory?
Is what?
Young Earth.
Like, Young Earth Christianity?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of right there with Flat Earth?
No.
Flat Earth is, they have nothing to fear but sphere itself.
Yeah. I would.
There are some interesting things to consider, but at the end of the day, does it really affect us? How we believe on that? Well, I mean, it does affect some worldview stuff.
I'm just always curious who believes what. Like, I don't really believe in any of these conspiracy things.
The only thing on that list you just made that I will give some possibility to is
9/11.
No, intelligent life. Outside, it is kind of arrogant to think that we are the only intelligent life in the universe. I mean, mathematically speaking, there should be something else out there.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I do believe in life in outer space. I just don't believe that there's some big, massive government conspiracy to.
I find any kind of conspiracy theory stuff like that, I have a hard time believing, just because it's people's nature to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hide something huge like that. And I don't know. Maybe, but
I suppose possibly conspiracy. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Epstein killed himself.
You believe in that, huh?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he killed himself. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell still alive? She knew everything that Epstein knew. So why is she alive but Epstein's dead?
Because she's better at
I think she's
sending out information.
Yeah, I think she's got
to protect herself.
a dead man switch kind of thing.
Yeah, she does. And she's already
But
let some of it go.
But
I
don't need that.
But
why is she still alive? And the guy
but Epstein didn't.
But you're saying Epstein did kill himself, right?
Epstein did kill himself.
So
yeah.
why would the other person have not killed herself? Is that
no? What I'm saying is, if the argument is that
himself.
Epstein was murdered, why is Ghislaine Maxwell still alive? Why did she not get murdered? She knows. Why are you guys talking right next to microphones? Well, if she has all the exact same data and knowledge and information that Epstein did, and Epstein had to be silenced, why is she still alive?
Good question.
Okay,
here we go.
What?
Shall we bring Paul back in?
Paul's back.
Because she has more of the data. Epstein had the brain power and the connections and the charm, and Ghislaine is the one who kept all the data. And
she's talking about the guy who
my favorite co-host on the air. Unmute him. Paul, did Epstein kill himself?
Fuck no.
Yes. Hold on. Do you believe he killed himself or he was murdered, Tom?
I think there's a lot of interesting quinky dinkies there, but again, it goes back to that conspiracy theory stuff.
Do you think Epstein?
How do you spell quinky dink?
Yeah,
I
think Epstein probably killed himself.
All right, thank you. I'm not alone.
No, again,
really, Tom? Really?
People. When it comes to cover-ups and conspiracies, people can't keep quiet.
Hold on. Okay, no, you're right. I don't disagree with you, but I don't. A conspiracy implies there's more than one person, and I don't think there was more than one person. I think there was somebody with a checkbook and somebody who did it. Listen, how were those cameras in the prison turned off? How were the guards sleeping when they were on? Do you even know all the details about that case before you start yapping your gums, Tom?
Again, I said
Do you even
a lot
know?
of coincidences. A lot.
No, we still.
Yeah,
I
don't believe in coincidence.
Or Jesus's grave in the guards are asleep.
I mean,
Phil, did Epstein kill himself?
Right.
Now you guys got me all mixed up on this thing.
Did Epstein kill himself?
I do not think so.
Okay, so you think he was silenced. Lori, did Epstein kill himself?
I'll answer that, but there's two parts to my answer.
Uh-huh.
Epstein did not kill himself, but I don't think who a lot of people think that did it in the U.S. was responsible.
But you think he was? He was murdered?
I think that Mossad saw too much liability with him, and they took care of that.
Mossad.
You think the Jews did it?
Epstein was at one time involved as a consultant with Mossad.
I've heard that, but I've never seen proof. But I'll take your word for it.
Detailed records, and that's what Ghislaine has. That is.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Listen. Well, I mean, I think it was the firm. Quite frankly, I mean, when you look at the damage that was done to the firm and all of the other drama that they had going on, it is my opinion that they were the ones that were behind it. Same way that they got rid of the last inconvenience. Diana was not good for the firm. Prince Andrew was not good for the firm. They couldn't take They couldn't take more damage. They had a Meghan Markle problem. I don't know if they did at that exact moment. I don't think they quite did. But it just, I don't know, man, about those guys. And I think now their karma is coming back to bite them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the king's got cancer. The princess has cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't believe in coincidences, and too many things were amiss when he died. You just can't ignore it all and sit there and say, "Oh, well, yeah, clearly he killed himself," and just ignore. It's like saying Joe Biden's not on the take, man. There's so much smoke. Something is smoldering. Something is. You just got to open your eyes and look around and not be an idiot. I mean, there's
bright eyes.
Every now and then I fall apart.
Yes, right. Yeah. That reminds me, since you just sang that song, I would love for the next time Kevin loses a bet and the bet revolves around somebody, whoever he's betting against. Kevin has to go to karaoke and sing whatever song that the other person picks. Yes. I think I have a couple of perfect choices.
We already made that bet, Paul. Remember when I said that I knew who Trump's running mate was going to be?
Oh, who did you say anyway?
I said it was what was her name?
I think it's going to be Tulsi Gabbard.
Christie?
You think Stefanik?
Oh,
Stefanik. Elise Stefanik.
Yeah. Okay, Elise Stefanik. And I think it'll be Tulsi Gabbard. I'm just telling you that if you lose that bet and we go to the karaoke bar, I would like you to know ahead of time what you're going to be singing.
Okay, just keep in mind that if I'm right, you have to sing what I pick. So.
No, that wasn't the bet. I never bet sing. No, I never bet
that
singing.
was the bet.
Hey, Paul.
Who's that? Who's that talking? Who's that talking?
That was the bet, buddy.
I don't think your memory's that good,
on the
Tom.
air. You said it on the air, you little
Welch. I don't think. No. Listen, if you pull it up, and the Welch, yeah. Don't just pull it up on video, and I'll. If I made that bet, I'll live it up. But I do want to just make sure that everybody knows that Kevin will be singing "Honey, Honey" by ABBA when the opportunity presents itself, because I think that
we need to clear this bet up then, Paul. What did you think you were going to have to do if you lost?
I don't know, but I never would have bet that I would have sang, because I don't like singing.
Well, then,
I don't
the
like
bet
to
is
do
off.
it.
If you're not going to make a bet where you've got to do something and I'm the only one that loses, that's not a fair deal.
Well, Paul. You love singing karaoke. How's that losing for you? How's that losing for you? That's winning. If you lose the bet, you're winning because you love to sing, right?
I have to sing ABBA? That's a lose-lose proposition.
How about Kevin
specifically, Honey, Honey. We could have done Dancing Queen, but I have more respect for you than that.
How about if Paul loses, Kevin sings, and Paul has to listen?
No.
Oh, that's you can die in a house fire, Phil. That's not.
Wow. So, Paul, what's the bet? Listen, and I gave you a very favorable bet. I picked Elise Stefanik against the field. So if Elise Stefanik
against the field?
Yes.
Hold on. Elise Stefanik or the field? Oh,
Yes.
that's a fine bet. No problem. That's in the bag.
And so you will sing my choice of songs for a night if you're wrong.
Not for the night, no, but one. Yeah, I'll sing one.
I agree to sing your choice of songs for the night.
Okay, then I guess I'll call it an early night, but okay.
All right.
Okay.
Till close.
So really quick.
No close.
Here's the
Yes.
short list as of 2 days ago. Christy Nome, Elise Stefanik.
Yeah.
Tim Scott, which I would love to see. Vivek Ramaswamy. And Marco Rubio. Didn't see that.
It will not be Rubio.
Tulsi Gabbard. Greg Abbott, governor of Texas.
Okay, I could see that.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who I think is the
No.
dark horse in this one.
Yeah, she would be a real dark.
No,
hold on.
Yeah.
Break is next. So
JD
hold that
Vance.
thought. Hold that thought. Outlaw Radio. We're back after this on Trump's VP Talk. Sponsored by Black Ring Spirits. If this doesn't make you want to get drunk, nothing will.
Honey, honey, Kevin's gonna sing.
All right. Who are the other names on your list?
Not my list.
Or the
This
list
is-
you found?
Yes. 2 days ago, Intelligencer, Carrie Lake from Arizona.
God.
I know. Yeah, no. Katie Britt. She's the one who did the
Oh,
response
Katie
to Biden.
she was so creepy. Oh my God.
Yeah,
She's so
please
cute.
don't pick her.
No. Now it gets even creepier. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh
no.
Okay,
Tucker
this list has
Tucker
no
Carlson.
credibility. Yes, him I've heard, but Marjorie Taylor Greene,
She's a wackadoodle.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis. DeSanctimonious.
this isn't a short list like they called it. This is like everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah, it is. I would love to see
This is-
Tim Scott. to be
This
totally
is,
honest.
are you a Trump supporter? You
Right.
might be the next vice presidential candidate.
Well, they have the loyalty check. That's part of the pro and con, and then they have
Yeah.
loyalty checks on there.
I can't imagine it would be DeSantis.
I don't either.
Because DeSantis took some shots at Trump.
Yeah.
Trump wants loyalty. He,
Oh yeah, ego.
yeah.
Protect his ego.
Stefanik. I'm telling you, Stefanik.
Yeah, listen, this is
right.
why I think that Kevin actually has a leg up on this one because you're 100% right. Trump loves loyalty above all else. And in my opinion, she's not the smart choice. She's not a bad choice, but she's not the smart choice. If you're the president and you're going to do the best job you can, you need somebody who will look at you in the face and tell you no.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't understand why you need that person that'll tell you no, God freaking help us. I listen. So Tucker Carlson interviewed Tulsi Gabbard last week. I don't know if any of you had a chance.
Coming back on AM. Hold that thought. You can tell that story in a second. Outlaw Radio.
Network.com.
Outlaw Radio Network.
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio. Good luck.
Hey, don't forget, if you haven't done so, share the show. The first show in May on a Sunday. We will, on Cinco de Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with Cinco de Mustard, but Cinco de Mayo. We will do a drawing for some Outlaw swag.
Ay.
What the hell was
that? Lori?
Yes.
Ay.
Was that your, like, Cinco de Mayo, like, Mexican, like... Okay.
Margarita.
I so much wrong with that.
Taco Supreme.
This
poquito
example
de
of
español.
cultural appropriation brought to you by Lori's Beads.
I Latin.
Check out the
Are you
Mexican
kidding?
jumping bean beads.
I'm Latina. Are you kidding?
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am. My DNA. I am.
You're Latina? What, you're from
Yeah.
LA and your name is Tina? What?
No, the printer ran out of ink.
You know,
she's
I
like
love
little
it.
Central American, little South American, some Pacific Islander thrown in there for seasoning.
No.
You know what I love?
Some Russian, Irish, and Welsh. You know, want to cover the gambit.
No.
You know what I love is Lori's like, I'm a Latina. She's so happy about it. And Paul's just like, I'm a Pole. I'm a Pole.
Well, you know, I'm proud of my heritage, and I mean, listen, we go back in history, man, and we have some interesting things that people that are in our particular cultures have done. Mine charged the Nazi tanks on horseback.
Mm-hmm.
There are moments and flashes of brilliance that the world just will never recognize as such. So
yeah. Well, because the people that were alive to witness it were murdered as a result of the
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Paul. You were gonna tell us a story in regards to Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, I mean, just that Tucker Carlson interviewed her.
I saw that
on his show on Twitter last week. And I'll tell you what, man, she named names, was not afraid. I will say this. I can honestly say, I mean, I already appreciated her, even though, you know, she was a Dem for a long time. And she really explained herself, and she explained why, and she explained her position on things. She explained why during the 2016 election, she supported Bernie Sanders and endorsed him, and her reasoning was sound. And she literally said, look, I didn't support him in the sense that I liked any of his stances on any of the issues, with one exception. She said she knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that Hillary Clinton was a war hawk. And as an officer in the military, she did not want somebody that was going to run for office that was going to put her brothers and sisters in the military in harm's way. And for that reason and that reason alone, she chose to endorse Bernie Sanders. She said she felt it was imperative for her to effectively point out what these people like Hillary Clinton were doing and why, and the kinds of people that they were. She said as soon as she came out against Hillary, so mind you, she'd only been in office a year at that point, in federal office. And she said the people within the Democratic Party were already writing her obituary, and they were telling her that in private moments. Like, you know, sorry, you're done. She said she was told by ranking members of the Democratic Party, which means Debbie Wasserman Schultz and others, that she would never get a single dime for her district.
Wow.
Because of what she did coming out against Hillary Clinton. And because of the way things went for her, she made the point, and this is what got the headlines during her interview, was she made the point that it is not a stretch to see, understand, and believe, because a comment was made by Hillary Clinton that she's in touch with the White House nearly every day. She goes, it is not a stretch when you know how those people work to believe that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are calling the shots in the White House. She's like, I'm not saying they are, but she said it's easy to believe it.
Oh, yeah. Obama is really ramping up Joe's campaign as well.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, that he has a lot of concerns that his legacy will go the way of the dodo bird.
No, Biden's will?
No.
Yeah, no, that Obama's will. Yep.
Yeah, because he's linked to Biden.
Yep. Basically, but Obama will go down with the ship, and Biden's at the helm. And if you want that guy driving your ship, look out.
Well, I'm going to say this. I actually think Obama's legacy is pretty safe. Just in regards to
what is his legacy?
Well, the Affordable Care Act is really the big thing he's going to be remembered for in 50 years.
How's that looking for you?
Well, again, I'm not saying don't misconstrue what I'm saying.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking you. Trying to figure out what it is you're saying.
Whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. He was president and pushed through a monumentally huge landmark piece of legislation. And whether you approve it or like it or not, that's irrelevant. The impact of the legislation is massive. And so because of that, I think his legacy is somewhat secured by that bill. Biden, on the other hand, has no legacy to stand on. Nothing. He's like a poor man's Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter 2.0.
Yeah, he makes Jimmy Carter look like Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, he does.
Can I tell you? I think that Obama's legacy is already toast, just like the Affordable Care Act. It's virtually non-existent now. And I mean, I would challenge anybody who doesn't feel that it is. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying the case can't be made that there's not legitimate things to the Affordable Care Act. Mm-hmm. But what of it is left? Healthcare costs are through the roof.
The employer penalties and fines on not.
Yeah, those are left.
Yeah.
yeah. So the stuff that mattered is gone. That's all I'm saying. So it's. I mean, I don't think there's much to be like. Lots of presidents have passed landmark legislation that doesn't exist anymore, and they're not remembered for jack squat.
Okay.
So I think that for President Barack Obama, it is a big deal and it's important, and I can understand why. I'm not faulting him one bit for being concerned about his legacy. But I'm going to say this: this is not a racist thing to say or anything else, because I think for any president, your legacy don't mean a damn thing. Not any presidents. You know what matters? How this country does coming out of your presidency. Mm-hmm. So I don't. A guy that's affecting politics over something like that should be ashamed of himself. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm firmly of the belief. I just disagree with you a little bit. I think Obama's entrenched.
That's fair.
I think Obama is like Camelot Part 2. And I think for whatever reason he's maintained the Obama mystique even post office, right?
You're right about that. I don't disagree. He does have a mystique about him. I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
I think the idea that the Clintons are in anything is laughable. But I certainly think Obama has influence. I mean, listen, as he should. I mean, if I'm in the Biden White House, I should be listening to Obama. He did 2 tours. He is thought of very well in Democrat circles. He still raises a lot of money. Mm-hmm. He still has supports from a lot of liberals and a lot of Democrats. He left on good terms. His public numbers aren't awful. If I'm the Biden administration, of course I want to work with Obama and try to glean some of that from him. And it helps Biden to be seen in public with Barack. Mm-hmm. But golly, man, I don't know if I'm Barack if I want to be seen in public with Biden.
Yeah.
Like, that dude is an anchor. That dude's an anchor. This entire presidency is an anchor. Everything about the Biden administration is an anchor. And I still believe that if anybody besides Trump was running on the Republican side, if anybody besides Trump was going to get the nomination, they would crush Biden in an election.
Yeah.
Crush him.
Anybody moderate.
Yeah, anybody.
Well, that's why I think RFK is going to be really interesting to watch.
He will be. Yep.
Yeah, Paul, we talked about this before you came on. What do you think are the numbers for RFK?
I think they're enough they should bother both parties.
But
he's going to force
what percentage of the popular vote do you think?
10%.
You think that much?
Wow,
yeah,
you think it's going to go double digits?
I think that it absolutely has the capability to, because he picked a running mate that has a voice. She isn't afraid to use it. She has a huge millennial and Gen Z following. Huge.
And that I think is going to make it interesting.
It will.
I think she's a wasted pick.
No, I mean, because it's like Paul was saying, we're out of touch when it comes to the millennials. We just are. I mean, do you follow anything the younger generation's doing?
Yeah, I'm on all the cool sites.
But do you follow them?
No.
So I mean, we're out of touch with what's important to them.
Yeah, we're not out of touch. We're out of touch, just like every generation is out of touch with 2 generations below them. It's just reality.
Right. And we're just getting used to it now because I mean we're just getting to the point where we can call ourselves old.
Bite your tongue, Phil.
I was going to say, I think Kevin was warned not to follow the millennials, otherwise he gets restraining orders.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Remember, folks, the restraining order is just another way of saying I love you. I get what you're saying, but the person that he picked as his running mate is somebody that nobody knows anything about. Unless you're in tech circles.
Our generation doesn't.
Our generation knows nothing.
I don't even think the younger generation knows who she is.
Yes, they do.
She's a lawyer and an entrepreneur.
And a documentary filmmaker who has made 3 documentaries that have done exceptionally well for documentaries.
We're still talking about the VP for
RFK.
Oh, she'd be able to document the loss of
she is a big deal with the millennial crowd.
All right.
She is. That is correct. She is.
Okay. You guys might be
and
right.
that's why he picked her. That is the reason he picked her. And
she has a huge war chest to contribute.
And she's really connected in Silicon Valley. There's a lot of money in tech, which I think that helps as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I think he might get 5%.
He might. But
this cycle, I think, is going to be interesting for parties outside of the usual, blue and red.
I wish you were right. I really do.
I think I am.
I'd like to see some diversity in what we're doing electorally. Like giving other candidates from other parties an opportunity.
Did you just endorse the idea of a third party?
He did.
In my mind, I would like that, but I don't endorse it because it's a waste.
It's
a third party candidate will not get elected on a significant national race, on a large scale local race like governor, state rep.
Not yet.
Okay, it's not going to happen.
But this,
I don't endorse it because it's a wasted vote. Any vote that goes for a libertarian is taking away a vote from a Republican. And in this state, I need some balance. I need Republicans to get more seats. I'm not a Republican, but I need some balance to the force.
Well, there's lots of seats where you don't have a libertarian option.
Yeah. Hold on, Outlaw Radio.
We vote that balance.
Top of the hour is next. Stick around.
You just got the finger.
Do you know how tired I am? I am so tired.
Are you tired?
I'm tempted to let you guys and Paul just finish the show.
If he leaves, I leave.
I've been up since 5:00 this morning.
Me too.
Well, we can just be punctual tonight. I'm okay with that.
Well, we have to go 5 minutes over.
No, we literally don't. Why do we have to do that?
Because we've set the expectation. We always do.
No, there's no expectation.
Yes, there is. People expect us to tell some bad jokes.
So be an outlaw. You know, make the change. There's
be the change you want to see, Kevin. Be the change you want to see.
And remember, some change is just inevitable.
Like if you give a $10 bill to pay for a $6 item,
you're going to get change.
Oh,
that's right.
Are brown, the leaves are brown.
People voted for Biden. All I had was change.
Gray.
Where are we? Are we on the Facebook break?
Yes.
Yeah. So people voted for Biden. All I had was change in my pocket.
Now I don't even have change left.
No. Bidenomics.
Bidenomics, baby. Bidenomics.
Yeah, it trickles down all right.
Right down. Biden and Obama. Remember, he promised change, and that's seemed to be all I had.
Trickle down at Bidenomics. It trickles all right down your leg. God, man.
So do we cover the story of the Russians actually interfered with next weekend for me? It's true.
Oh, we should talk about that. We'll talk about that.
We'll see if what Paul has thoughts of Russian interference on my weekend
is.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll learn.
I'm clearly missing something, but at least I think I am. Okay, that's got. Well, I mean, I'm not that teased, but I mean, I got my,
literally Literally,
toys
the
here.
Russians impacted my weekend.
Hey, really
Directly.
quickly, are you guys going to buy tickets for the big Powerball jackpot for Monday?
I'm not.
Your mic's not on. There you go. Well,
How
you
much
stepped
is
away.
it?
$1 billion with a B,
Ooh.
billion dollars.
So chances are 1 in 7 billion I'll win.
Yeah. If I
So
won
there
$1
is a
billion,
chance.
If I won $1 billion, I'd buy this radio station.
Nice.
I don't even know. I don't care what the cost would be.
Okay.
I'll spend $2 on that because isn't the Powerball ticket $2?
I don't know.
I'm going to stick with my winning trend, which is if you don't buy, you can't lose.
Right.
Yeah, but for $1 billion,
I still have never lost.
For
There you go, Phil. There you go.
Yeah, but you're not bringing home $1 billion.
I know, but
Okay.
but
Just
buying
clarify.
that lotto ticket, the daydreaming I will do is worth $2.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So
True.
what?
I'll loan you $2 to daydream if all you want. But you can also do it for free.
Yeah, but the possibility of actually winning the $1 billion is nil because you didn't.
The lotto
participate.
is just a tax on people who are bad at math.
I know.
Can you
That-
imagine though if you won?
Oh, $1 billion. Yeah, I would take the 20-year annuity. Thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't take the lump sum payout.
No, take it. Do
No, because
20 years.
When it wasn't this high before, when it was like 500 million or 800 million or whatever, the payouts were $18 million a year.
If you can't
for
live on
20
18
years.
million, there's a
in
problem.
a year. Yeah, you got an issue.
Yeah.
And if worse comes to worse, I have a structured settlement and I need cash now.
Cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth.
877
$877 Dash now.
Hey, knock it off. They're not sponsors of the show.
Send him a bill.
I have that annuity, but
Send those fuckers a bill. No, I'm gonna go put $10 down on lottery tickets for that. The worst thing that happens is I just lose $10.
Yeah, I'll put 2.
I spend that on fries.
Just don't go to the 7-Eleven.
No, anywhere but there. Yeah, I'd buy this radio station. I would, and then I would fire Dennis, and then I would rehire him, and then I would rehire him as the program director.
Oh. Promotion.
Yeah, no, I'd fire him first.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to fire somebody. Paul's fired everybody. I want to be like Paul.
It's well, I mean, listen, if you fire everybody and you hire a bunch of friends, then you can be nice to your friends and hook them up with chicks that see 2 directions at once.
Wow.
I keep hearing this story.
Outlaw Radio.
I'm telling you, this girl had one eye look this way, one eye look this way.
Oh, look, we're coming back on top of the hour.
When the space
Outlaw
shuttle
Radio Network.
exploded, she got to watch all the pieces all spread across, come down at the
We're
same
back
time.
after this on Mega Talk. Stay tuned.
When Kevin was railing on her against the fence, she kept one out for the cops, he said.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's all right.
We all subscribe to St. Paul's YouPorn channel.
A bunch of a-holes.
What kind of feeling?
That look was funny. that look Paul gave the camera was hilarious.
By the way, go to pornhub.com/St. Paul. I don't ever go to Pornhub. I think porn is the stupidest thing in the world. But now I'm curious if there is a pornhub.com/St. Paul. And that actually scares me to find out. So if any of you guys want to find out, just let me know. Dennis is here. Dennis, a big fan of Pornhub. Hello, Dennis.
Speaking of which.
Yes.
I would like to talk about something that it just popped in my mind yesterday.
I mentioned Paul and Pornhub, and Dennis is like, "Oh, it just made me think of something." Oh, okay.
It did.
All right.
It did. See,
We're all
you can
doomed.
remember back in your big radio show days.
Yes, I love those days.
And now, and currently, you talk of your not caring and dislike of pornography and strippers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You were defensive as all get out over your remote broadcast from a strip club.
Well, do you know why?
Why?
Because they were paying us to go down there and do a remote. I was happy for any money in my pocket.
You were so protective. I remember the first night you announced it, I walked into your show and said, I'm allergic to penicillin.
Listen, okay, so
Kevin got so mad at me. That's so professional.
So hold on.
Those are paid
For
customers.
the listeners who don't know, back when this station was owned by what? Am I getting some color? Don't make this racial. So
your red is showing.
Back when the station was owned by previous management, I had a late night show that was on Monday through Friday nights from 6 to 9 called The Big Radio Show.
The Big Radio Show.
And I was obnoxious, man.
And he also used clips from P. Diddy.
Yes. And so we got
a song called "Come With Me."
The strip club in Gorsh.
Come with me, he's Sandra D.
Not that one.
He's lousing with virginity.
They signed a contract to have us come broadcast live once a week from the strip club, and I was protective over it because my show was getting paid to go out and do a show remotely
from a strip club.
Yes, from a strip club. But listen, I can tell you this. Hold on, I can tell you guys this in true honesty now, all these years later. Those chicks were hideous, man. The only cute one down there was the one that I dated who was a bartender, not a stripper. All the other ones looked like they'd been ridden hard and put away wet.
I agree because, like I said, it
was awful.
Because I knew that no matter what came during that time, I was going to have to make a trip down there and be tech support because I had revamped how we did remotes back then to upgrade our sound, and which I did, which also meant though that the interns couldn't figure it out. So I was going to get a phone call to go, "Hey, Dennis, come show up at the strip club."
Listen, true story. Do you know why even after they got naked at the strip club, it was still impossible to see anything?
Oh,
yes, I can answer that question.
The flies.
All the flies.
It was like a death storm.
All the flies. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, well, there were no flies there when I owned the place, but
no, this was after you owned it.
They have 96 Alpha and 96 Bravo, which effectively it wasn't a full nudity strip club. They could take all their clothes off, but but it still was not full
I'm
nudity.
sure some of the flies came from some juices that were there when you owned it.
I firmly believe that
they weren't my juices.
Wow. I got nothing to say now. I think we've beaten this topic to death.
But Kevin,
something was getting
I
beat
just
to
did
death.
all that to let you know that I think of you when we're not on the air.
Word choice, people. Word choices. Come on.
Well, adult entertainment in Washington State is about to take a change. Because Washington State Liquor and Cannabis has just relaxed all the rules about alcohol
in strip clubs
and in strip clubs.
Yeah, not in
I'd have made a killing.
Alaska.
Well, listen, it's not going to happen in Kitsap because Kitsap has got an ordinance that doesn't allow any strip clubs. Explain that to me.
Yes, they do. No, they do. They do allow strip clubs, Kevin. The problem is that they wrote it in such a way that you're not going to ever find a place to put a strip club that's going to be worth a damn. It's like you have a 5-mile radius of basically anywhere public park, public school, churches, it's
churches?
so. Oh yes, so you're never gonna find any place, and people have looked, dude, and nobody's been able to find anywhere where they could put a club in Kitsap County because of that 5-mile rule.
Yeah.
Can strippers with religious tattoos be protested?
Probably. Yeah.
And Kitsap loves their parks. No joke. We were just there in Silverdale, the Stormwater Park. It was like the Stormwater Park up the hill on Silverdale way. I was like, this is a thing?
It's a stormwater park?
It's called the Stormwater Drain Park or something to that.
Yes,
the homeless people are bathing.
No,
So-
it was a nice park.
No, he's right. It's called a swale, and what they did was it's a stormwater retention pond that's made to look natural. And so that was a thing for a while until people realized, wow, nobody actually wants to go to a stormwater retention pond as a park.
Is that the one that's up Silverdale Way, like you're headed towards Keyport?
Yeah. You go past Gateway Park and then a little further up on the right.
Yeah.
Just
That's
after
like
that
an
church.
advertising. You know,
That's so
I want to go to
stupid.
Wastewater Park
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just kind of funny.
and ride the water slides.
They should turn that into. I fell in, but I was saved by a log.
You really shouldn't refer to your date that way, bro.
No, I don't have a date, man. Come on. Don't pick on my singleness again. Come on.
You brought it up, man.
I do want to give a reminder. There'll be no show next weekend. Next Sunday, no show. We'll probably, it's WrestleMania Sunday. We'll probably have a best of on AM. And for those of you who missed the show, you can go catch some of our greatest hits on the Facebook page and the Rumble, all that
Like
kind of
this
stuff.
one here.
Yeah, like this one right here. The following Sunday, we'll have via video, Brandy Cruz will join us again. We love Brandy. It'll be great to have her on.
And by that
It'll be
time,
fun.
I'll have my belt back.
Okay, perfect. Well, she won't be in studio to see your belt.
I'll come in here on video, you know.
Okay, perfect. We'll see if you have your belt back.
It lived all the way through COVID in this window.
I know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's not there now because somebody took it from him at the last WrestleMania.
It did. There's
Oh, that belt.
That belt, his title, his championship belt.
That belt. Sorry. I forgot.
You're in here through the whole show. Nothing gets by you. How does that get by you?
I'm tired. I'm just tired.
We are going to play
at this
Writer
point.
Racist here in about.
We are? I was going to see if we were going to play
17 minutes.
Personology.
Do you want to do Personology instead? This is a new game. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, why not?
Personology is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cards Against
Shall we-
Humanity.
Shall we riddle Paul about how the Russians interfered with my weekend?
Didn't you just ask that question 8 minutes ago?
Yeah, it was a lead up. And
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes,
All
you
right.
said after the break you would talk about it, Kevin.
All right. So, Phil, tell us how the
what do you
Russians.
think? What do you think about this, Paul? The Russians interfered directly with my weekend. So I set up all the gear, all the necessary stuff to do live streaming, a phone patch to connect to a station via ham radio to the International Space Station for the students to talk to astronauts. But the Soyuz space capsule had to dock, and apparently that's more important than talking on the ham radio. So
Well, that honestly would have been really cool. What a great experience for those kids if the Russians hadn't effed it up. But yeah, that's pretty
there you go.
cool.
True story. Direct.
Doesn't Russia
pro-
like have a country to bomb or something? They're actually launching the Soyuz.
Oh yeah, the Russian program keeps going. They're keeping the International Space Station alive. Yeah,
I
think it just hit 40 years.
I was just being snarky.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that Russia was in the news along with the EU over the last few days. For those that hadn't seen like I said, Hunter's getting ready to take off there. He's going to be there for 9 months. But essentially, the Polish Prime Minister, as well as the President of France and others, are really pushing the issue that they are concerned because, well, they're concerned about basically World War breaking out in Europe, and Russia went on a major tear this last week and attacked the civilian infrastructure within Ukraine again, and in doing so, their rockets, missiles, and artillery came within a couple miles of the Polish border. So, stuff is legitimately heating up over there, man. And me for one, having a son going over there, it makes me pretty nervous, man. It really does.
It totally should too, because it's all a wild card that's outside of our control.
It is, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And especially when you find out things like some NATO countries actually have troops in Ukraine, and they're trying to play this game where they're keeping it secret, but the stuff is leaking out and everybody's finding out, man. It's not a game, man. It's not a game, and it seems like a lot of these leaders, Germany, Poland, the United States. They're treating it like it's a game, man. This isn't a game board. Those pieces are real people, real people, man, and people should be concerned. Absolutely should be concerned. And these are questions, by the way, that our glorious president needs to be answering. And this is why a debate is so damn important. They need to answer some of those questions for the American people, because God knows the freaking media are not going to ask Joe Biden those questions.
No,
and for
Joe Biden's awareness of what's happening in Russia is probably dependent upon how many pancakes are on his plate. I truly don't think he's got a good grasp of it.
I wish I could laugh about that, Tom, but I do believe that you're incredibly correct on that. Yeah. I don't. Can I ask you guys this?
Sure.
How do we've all seen people in the media and people that we know, friends and family members, who all believe that Joe Biden is just fine. Now, I understand the nature of unconscious bias and stuff like that, right? How can anybody legitimately watch and listen to Joe Biden, listen to the things he says, his mannerisms, his speech, and legitimately think he's okay? Listen, if you want to say, no, I think Kamala Harris should be great. She was elected just like he was. She was part of the ticket. That's fine. But how could anybody think he's okay? I mean, can you guys legitimately explain to me how people think that he's okay? Or are you guys as baffled and bewildered by it as I am?
Oh, I can tell you how I think people think he's okay.
I've got a theory too.
They watch normal news. And normal news does not play all those clips. Normal news does not show every gaffe he has. Does not show every time he wanders off like he's just escaped out of the nursing home. The normal news doesn't show that.
No, Fox trips over themselves.
No, Fox
every
does.
time they get a chance, and
But
Fox is part of normal news.
I'm talking about every other news source.
Sure.
So CNN doesn't do it. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Fox, like local
Right.
Fox channels. None of them are showing that. So the average American who is not going to spend an hour with their pants around their ankles watching Fox News, waiting for pictures of Donald Trump, the average American that doesn't watch Fox is not going to know the extent to which Joe Biden has lost his marbles.
But if the, and I don't think there's, I mean, other than maybe boomers, I don't think the average American gets their news from the mainstream media anymore. Because that implies the idea of, having a cable subscription or something. And most people don't. Most people stream and they go and they look for their echo chamber that makes them happy.
Yep.
But while you're digging around in your echo chamber, you can't help but see some of the backlash from, Pancake Joe wandering off stage or whatever. Everyone's heard about it.
Fake news. They doctored that video. I've gone round and round with different people in my family.
Yes. People do say that, and they are dead serious about it. That's fake. Those aren't real. That's AI. That's this. That's that. And it. And I tell you, man, I know that I'm not the only one on this show that thought this last year when I made the comment. I just remember making the comment that as of last summer, it was like the age of being able to trust what we see and hear is just over. It's just over.
Yeah.
You can vet things till you're blue in the face, but anybody who doesn't want to believe you will have that as an excuse not to. That's why it scares me. I think that's the worst thing that ever could have happened in a country that's already so divided.
So the other problem is that we don't, we the people, all we do is listen to words. We don't actually pay attention to what anyone does. And then we just listen to the words. Well, how many jokes do you know about how honest politicians are? How do you know when a politician's lying?
His lips are moving. Mouth is moving.
Right?
Yeah. Or lips are moving, whatever it is. Yeah.
So now we're stuck with, plausible deniability, if you will, because everything is an AI fake. and we've got to listen to politicians that we know are lying to us.
Yep.
When we gotta fix it.
Yeah, I'm there with you, man.
But you ask a great question, Tom, and the problem is, I don't think that the average dipwad American lemming thinks anything needs to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the average dipwad that's struggling to put gas in the car, struggling to put food on the table, struggling to pay the mortgage or the rent, struggling to have some semblance of a life outside of just existing, you don't think they're looking at their leadership going, hey, what gives?
No. Because if you look at most districts in this country for Senate and House seats, most of them never change.
That's pathetic.
Most of them never change. The incumbents normally win.
There's math behind that.
A lot of red seats stay red seats forever. A lot of blue seats stay blue seats forever. The average American is not considering any of that. They vote based on who they voted for last time.
Yep.
Based on who's the name that they know. They don't study and inform themselves on.
Which is why all of our politicians are ancient and out of touch.
Exactly. And which is why every time you say, when we're going to make a change, my response is, we're not going to, because change requires the average American voter to get off their lazy ass, do a little bit of research, figure out what these candidates are all about and what they've done while they've been in office, and then work to enforce a change, which none of them do. Lori?
Remember when Biden first came into office and
he can't even remember when he first came into office.
Oh, you mean Senate or president?
President. And
because
the
Senate,
DNC,
we were all like 10.
The DNC started putting out talking points about, inflation's going up because of the COVID effect and blah, 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 and all this, right? And DNC started putting out talking points. Okay, well, we're going to have to tighten our belts, and this will help you lose weight with the inflation, and you'll eat less, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm serious. I have family members who have bought this, and they're younger than me. They're like, well, we need to eat less, and this is our fault that money is tight because we didn't, we should have paid off our credit cards or whatever's going on. And I'm like, your income hasn't changed, but inflation has changed, and you're having to use your credit cards to take care of things.
Yeah, and your tax rate.
On a double income.
Yeah, and your tax rates change.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, we just need to tighten our belt and lose some weight and not eat as much.
Paul, could you be any louder in the background, homie?
Yeah.
Having dinner.
Dude, I'm not being loud. All I did was grab a plastic bag.
I know, but it sounds so loud in the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Having dinner and turning up the furnace are not supposed to be luxuries.
No, they shouldn't be at all. But I don't know that the average person is going to pay attention. I mean, I think everybody's so into their camps and their echo chambers, and they don't want to seek understanding or seek to have a conversation with anybody that's opposite from them.
I still think I think you're right. I think the folks that are still in love with the agendas, on the left and the right, I think there's still, troops in the trenches, but I think middle America is getting fed up.
Oh yeah. Middle America.
Middle America, that's the people that need to vote.
I mean, Charlemagne the God, or whatever, however you say his name, big radio show host and podcast, and down in Atlanta, he is like calling for Biden to step aside.
Yep. Oh, he has been for a while. I've seen
for quite a while.
Articles.
Yeah. But because he's doing that, he's stirring up the African American vote, and they're all like, "Hey, I'm not doing better. I'm actually doing a lot worse."
I don't think the average American's doing better.
Yeah. And it's now becoming, why are you coming for my vote every 4 years and then I don't hear from you again until the next 4 years? You're not doing anything. So I think maybe there will be change.
Maybe this November. Gosh. I would love to see.
To dream the impossible dream.
Well, all we can do now is wait, right?
Something fine.
It's either that or hope in Designated Survivor TV show mode.
I just
that scares me.
Listen, I hear what you guys are saying, but yeah, and Kiefer Sutherland is only like 5'3". Listen, I think that
is he
he's short. I don't know if he's that short, but he's short.
I didn't know he was that.
He's short.
But he is short. Yeah,
really tall.
Yeah. Well, maybe his dad's not his dad. Maybe his dad's a milkman. Look,
no, his dad just like women who are just the right height.
Yeah. I hear what you guys are saying, and I think it's so cute. Oh my God, it's so precious. It's like when you guys have a baby and you look at the baby and the baby's like, maybe a year, maybe 18 months. And you think about all the things that your baby might do when they grow up, all the great careers they could have. They could find a cure for cancer. They could be a fireman. They could go to the moon. They could do really good things. And you fast forward 20 years and they're working with snot running down their face at a drive-thru at Taco Bell, half high on the weed they smoked midway through their shift. Look, you guys have great ideas, but none of it is even humanly possible.
Okay,
the American voter is too stupid to invest the time it is required for you guys to have the change you're talking about. Hold on.
By the way, shout out to my oldest. Happy birthday.
I mentioned happy birthday. Drive-through Taco Bell and weed, and she thinks of her son. Curious.
Happy birthday, number one.
Outlaw Radio, number
one. Wow.
Surprised his birthday's not 420. Back after this.
Oh!
All right, Tom, what were you going to say?
Well, actually, I was going to ask you something.
Oh, ask away.
Okay, so this November, I'm curious. What is K-Dog's reaction when a third party? I don't care which third party. The Libertarians, RFK. I don't care which one. But what's K-Dog's reaction in November when a third party gets 10, 15, 20% of the popular vote? Nothing will happen with it. I understand that, but where's your brain go now? Because you don't think it's going to, right?
Ready? When that happens, I will drop my pants and walk through this mall because I know that I'm having a dream. Okay?
No, I'm.
There is no way that
I'll be collecting money for anybody that wants to see that. I will be the ticket holder.
There is
You
no
can come
way.
pay me.
There is no way any third party candidate gets double digits.
Okay, so you draw the line at double digits.
There's no way. I don't think they get more than 5.
Wait.
But you're like 10, 15, 20%. Like, put the bottle away. They won't get double digits. And I'd be amazed if they got more than 5.
Okay.
Any one candidate.
Okay.
But isn't it the margin is like 33% just to move forward? To
What do you
take
mean?
the vote?
What do you mean?
To get the vote
Which vote?
as president. The way that the electoral college and everything works, it's like 33%. If you split it between the candidates.
Well, hold on. I'm going to ask you to ask when we come back on the AM. It's Outlaw Radio. Final half hour of the show's around the corner. Stick around. We're back after this. Paul, you douche.
No, I don't douche.
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio. Good luck.
All right, Outlaw Radio.
I can't argue with that, Lori.
So Lori was trying to ask me a question that I didn't quite understand. So Lori, can you ask that question one more time?
On the electoral college.
Yes.
If we have a 3-way presidential race,
right,
so to speak, isn't it like 33% that has to be achieved by one candidate to actually move forward, or not move forward, but to win?
Well,
I thought that was the number I heard.
Well, I mean, if you have 3 candidates, you'd need one of them to get 34%.
Okay.
Essentially, I mean,
yeah.
Because then if somebody got 34, somebody got 33, and somebody got 33, then the 34% would win. So that's part of the downside to Tom's third party election is that
why we don't make any decisions on a larger margin now as it is.
But the issue is that you would have a president that nearly twice as many Americans would have voted against. Like, again, in this scenario, you get 34,
already have that.
34, 33, 33. Okay. No, we don't have that.
We do.
No, right now we had the last election. Donald Trump got
not the last election. Right now, we have that problem. 70% of the population doesn't want to see Trump or Biden.
Okay.
70%.
Then they should have voted in the primaries and made it not happen.
I'm just telling you, we have that problem right now. So it's already going to be.
But when we come to the November election,
about.
Donald Trump's probably going to win. He's going to finish with 51% of the vote. And Joe Biden's going to finish with 47% of the vote. And that other 4% will be divided up equally amongst all the third-party candidates that have no shot in hell. And
or how to do math.
So
but anyway, I'm over here like, what?
2%. Sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, the point is, the point is, like you guys, I understand what you're saying, but there's no way in hell that any third-party candidate does anything.
Well, not
and
this
if a
cycle.
third-party candidate did do something, you would have a majority of percentage points of people in the country that voted against them. And that is a recipe for a civil war, Phil.
Now, one thing to remember, with the way the Electoral College works, if there is no majority, the vote goes to the House of Representatives. Happened in 1800 when Thomas Jefferson won, and 1824 with John Quincy Adams.
Yeah.
According
and
to
by the
Google.
way, who runs the House right now? Republicans.
We do.
By a very slim
by
margin.
a super small.
Yeah.
Well,
And
was it
didn't
like
we just
4
lose-
seats or something?
Yeah, and we just lost 3 Republicans to retirement.
Now the
this
question would be: would that be
cycle?
the current House, or would it be the elected House?
It would be
after
the
vote?
elected House.
So
Would it?
come November, don't screw this up, people.
It would be the elected House.
Really?
This
so
November
they
is
would
gonna
have to
be
wait
interesting.
until January.
Yeah,
For
so
the
they-
new House to get in.
The new House would go in
And then they would
January
have to vote.
6th or something like that.
Always my birthday.
But again, what happened
No,
on
I know.
January 6th?
No,
right?
I know. I know.
And it's because Congress has to come in
Mhm.
and certify the results of the election
Mhm.
before inauguration on the 20th.
Right.
So they would bring the new Congress in. The new Congress would then have to determine the results of the election.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's no way. There's no. We talk about this on the show all the time, and I love you guys and your optimism and your belief in rainbows and butterflies
I'm just looking at a math problem.
and unicorns and powdered toast man who flies through the world backwards and farts powdered toast out of his ass. But that's all nonsensical. No third-party candidate in the next 100 years. The most viable third-party
100
candidate.
years, you're way off.
Really?
Yeah.
Because in the early 1900s, we had a third-party candidate under the Bull Moose Party by the name of Teddy Roosevelt, who came in second.
Yeah.
And then that fizzled, and it never happened again. I mean, we had third-party candidates, but nobody who did anything. This third-party thing is a fad.
I mean, we're never going to return to our British heritage there. Having the minority parties. I mean, what are they running, like 4 different parties, 5? Between Britain and Canada, and we don't do Britain.
Yeah,
no,
we don't.
Robert said kids have voted.
Choices, people.
Robert said kids have voted Gary Johnson to 6.94%, higher than the prior history. Yeah, but what did he get overall? 3? 4? I mean, a far cry from anything even risky. I mean, yeah, I don't. This whole third-party candidacy conversation is literally the equivalency of saying, do you think Kevin will meet a nice girl and marry her in 2024? It is that fucking impossible.
Wow. Way to be positive, Kevin.
I would say nothing's impossible. And
Yeah.
I am just because of this perfect storm that is coming up in November, that will be our presidential election, that 70% of the country is not happy about. I'm really curious to see how it plays out, because I think you're a little stuck in a rut there, bud.
Probably.
I
As
hope
opposed
so.
to Paul, who's stuck in the butt. But listen, it's listen. I don't know how you think I'm stuck in a rut. Our history in this country backs up everything I'm saying.
But our history isn't that long. It's 200 years. That's
Yeah,
nothing. That's
okay.
nothing.
Our recent history shows that the American population will vote for one of two major parties 97% of the time.
Again, I mean, as far as the civilizations
And by the way,
governments go,
yeah.
200 years is nothing.
And by the way, the 70% you're talking about who say they don't want Trump or Biden,
yeah,
they're the ones to blame for Trump or Biden.
I know.
They're the ones that voted for Trump or Biden in the primaries.
I agree.
So I don't want to hear all these whiny ass crybabies. We don't want either one of them. Well, then you should have voted for somebody else, you dummies. That was so loud. I literally just pooped myself.
I think you did.
I need to go to the bathroom and take a Donald and wipe my Trump.
He even talked about it in the chat, making dolphin noises.
As they say in Mortal Kombat, flawless victory.
I literally just Margie Taylor Greene myself.
You did jump.
I literally Margie Taylor Greene myself.
That's hilarious.
One other really quick question for you guys, and this goes along with the political discussion, but Paul, I want your thoughts. MTG, not to be confused with Machine Gun Kelly, but Margie Taylor Greene has announced that she's trying to get allies together to oust Speaker Mike Johnson.
Oh my God.
He hasn't even been in that spot for very long. Are we about to see like Total House of Representative Chaos Part 2?
Yeah.
The extended version?
More infighting.
I mean,
no, I don't think she's got the. She's a far cry from the support.
Yeah.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, people don't want to ally themselves with her because she's just flat out there.
Well, and wasn't
she
it
is
3
just
weeks
out
ago
there.
she was fighting with Lauren Boebert?
Yeah, still fighting with her. That's
that's ongoing still.
chick fight.
Put it on pay-per-view. Make some money for Donald Trump's legal defense.
Well, there's already a good fight coming up on pay-per-view.
Which one's that?
Mike Tyson.
Oh, by the way, that's not on pay-per-view. It's on Netflix.
Not?
It's on Netflix.
Nice.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna watch it then.
You gonna come over to my house and watch with me? We'll have a like a WrestleMania-esque party just to watch.
When, I don't even know when that fight is. When is
July
it?
20th? It's my mom's birthday. July 20th.
It's going to be very short.
Yep.
I don't know.
Do they have any undercards, or is it just going to be?
Oh, I'm sure there'll be undercards.
Yeah. But when Tyson and Jake Paul are in the ring, that will be a short fight.
You think so?
I think Jake Paul's going to get the absolute horse dung knocked out of him.
I hope so.
Yeah. It was so fun.
I've never wanted to see someone get beat up since Paul fired me.
When F-Bomb and I first started dating, I was big into MMA.
Yeah.
And it was like during the era of Chuck Liddell and George St. Pierre. I mean, it's like the golden era of good MMA. And we were going down I-5 past some, I don't remember why we were out and about, but we were going by and they were advertising an MMA match in December
at Emerald Queen.
At Emerald Queen, yeah. And I lit up. I mean, like I said, F-Bomb and I
always light up, you pothead.
No, not like that. I lit up. I was excited.
Yeah. You
I was like,
light up my life.
Oh God, I thought you didn't like to sing.
You give me hope
to carry on. Keep going, Paul. Come on.
No, that's all I know.
Light up my days. All right, and film my nights. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, so we go to this fight, right?
Debbie Boone.
Yeah.
Yeah, F-Bomb got us cool ringside seats.
I think you need to go home.
I'm punch drunk, dude. I'm so tired.
And the headline fight of the night was this guy that had been, part of the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So it was supposed to be a good fight, right? Everyone's excited for it. There's 9 other fights. It was a long, good night of MMA. Yeah, the fight was over in under 15 seconds.
That's why I don't get boxing match or MMA pay-per-views, because
it's just pop, bang.
Like when Brock Lesnar was in MMA, his fights were quick.
Yeah.
When Colin McGregor was in MMA, his fights were quick.
Yeah.
When Ronda Rousey was in MMA, her fights were. I'm going to shell out $60 for a minute and a half of just watching you just beat the crap out of some jabroni.
Well, that's why you need a good undercard, like 6 or 8 or 10 good fights.
Yeah. I miss Ronda Rousey. I wish she'd come over to my house and beat me up. Hey, the other thing I want to ask, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it.
That's what Kevin wants for his birthday gift this year in July.
Ronda Rousey to put me in a leg lock. Yes, please.
Oh my gosh.
Squeeze my head like a lemon. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ronda.
All you're going to do.
Not sure you can infer that on radio, man. It just doesn't seem right.
Squeeze my head like a lemon, Ronda. Go ahead.
You're going to see stars and go to sleep. It won't be that much fun.
Love you so much. God. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about really quick is what happened in Baltimore with that ship. Today, they took off the first pieces of the collapsed bridge out of the water.
Yeah, they found all the explosive devices. Morons.
I know. I want you to talk about this because you talked about on your page about this guy who studied for a couple of hours and is now a bridge expert, talking about how
I saw that post.
Yeah. So Paul, because I want to hand you the floor because I could not love you any more than I did after reading that rant.
Well, tell me it wasn't true, and just to fill everybody in, like we all know this person, right? In the month of January, they're a weather expert on, on winter weather patterns wherever they live because they spend a lot of time studying them. So they know, right? Well, it's the same as the 9/11 truther folks. I think people innately want this idea of they want to know something nobody else knows, right? Mm-hmm. And the internet has made it very easy for those people to get the recognition. And unfortunately, what it's done is, to me, watching that story and watching how that unfolded, early in the morning last week, it seemed really obvious what happened, right? I'm thinking in my mind, wow, that's tragic. That is literally a very tragic accident. It took less than 6 hours for me to start seeing people post stuff like, "Are you awake yet? Look at this picture. There's puffs of smoke on the bridge as it's falling because it was clearly blown up. This was a terrorist attack." Like, dude, are you like actually smoking the PCP or are you like boiling it down into like syrup form so that when you take it, it's more effective and hits you faster? Like, what kind of absolute moronic idiot looks at that and goes, "Oh, clearly it was blown up. The smoke we're seeing doesn't have anything to do with the construction workers that just died while working on the damn bridge, repairing freaking potholes." It's just the level of stupidity with regards to some. And I'm not talking, listen, conspiracy theories, those are good. We need conspiracy theorists, right? We need people who question everything, right? That is not a bad thing. I'm talking about the people who still think that the earth is flat and the moon landing was faked, and a big giant mud flood wiped out half of the European continent because there was a place called Tartaria, and it was occupied by 10-foot-tall humanoids called Tartarians.
What the hell is that? Folks, I've never heard of that.
You folks need to just jump in the box, screw it from the inside out, and just let them bury you. Like, there is nothing that these people bring to humanity that is worth saving. I think that at this point, we just need to label them all too stupid to procreate, let them be on their way, ostracize them, like Ram Springer for the Amish people, right? Like, no, son, you need to go figure out what your truth is. And by the way, don't ever tell me that line again. I have permanently decided that the phrase "my truth" means too stupid to know the truth if it bit you in the ass, because my truth simply means I get to make up whatever I want and you have to accept it. These people need those implants that Elon Musk is working on simply so their brains will function in a reasonable manner. There is no way on God's green earth that a bunch of explosions brought down the World Trade Center after it got hit by jumbo jets, right? Full of fuel. Oh, but look out, there's thermite running out of the windows. See that stuff that's on fire and it's liquid-like? Clearly, that's thermite. Oh, you're going to get me going. I can't do it anymore.
Paul, tell us what you really think.
I love you, Mom. Happy Easter.
I think they want their dopamine hit. Don't you think?
Yes, I do. Yes, Laura, you're 1,000% correct. I literally now put these people in the same category as the men and women who maybe for whatever reason have never fully accepted themselves and how they look. So they use filters, for example, on their Facebook pages to make them look completely different. Completely different. And this is going to say, I'm not fat shaming anybody, but if you're a little bit overweight and you use a filter to make yourself look like a skinny hot chick and you're not, you have mental issues.
You're lying. You're blatantly lying.
Yeah.
I know that's a real butthole-ish thing to say. I get
it's true.
St.
It
Paul,
is true. I do believe it.
It's true because I have seen guys who make their pictures look and they put that they're 6 feet tall and they're shorter than me. I'm not that tall of a person.
Yes,
I mean at that if you're shorter, just don't lie about it, right?
At that point, Lori, if you're gonna as a single lady, well, you're not. I'm not saying you're single, but as a woman, and you go out on a date. And you go out on a date with somebody like that, and he shows up, and you think he's 6'2", he turns out to be 5'7". Are you thinking, I've got my lawyer on speed dial, this is false advertising? Because that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Chances are
it's actually happened.
Chances are
it's happened? I did not know that.
He was 5'3".
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I am
Oh, my goodness.
I need tippy for my bunghole. Boing. I am Dr. Cornholio. Some TV for my bunghole. Are you turning me?
They're off the rails.
We should end the show now because I can't compete against that.
That's my favorite one is the Titi Kaka.
Okay, let's do personology. We can do one round. Let's go.
Titi Kaka.
So explain your this new game.
Paul can't play this game because he's not here to draw a card.
No.
That's tragic.
All right.
Okay.
So explain the rules, Tom.
All
You
right.
played this before.
So you're going to read.
Actually, let's have Paul guess ours.
Okay.
Oh, perfect, Paul.
Yeah.
You're the only
But what
contestant.
is-
Price is
But
wrong.
what helps if you explain the game?
So the game is there's going to be a statement read on a card, and there's multiple choice answers, and you need to guess what the person reading the card will relate to.
Okay.
Right, so
I understand.
You have to match their personality to the situation on the card. So you've got to pick whatever multiple choice option you.
Okay, well let's start with this, Tom.
Go.
Tom.
Yeah.
You've got on your right hand. Make a fist and punch Kevin. and don't and every time he makes a pee bunghole joke, hit him again.
Fire! Okay, ready, Paul?
Oh.
Yeah.
This is my card. Which of the following is the worst bad habit I have in public and why? Okay. Choice A, picking my nose. Choice B, popping my pimples. Choice C, scratching my behind. Choice D, picking my teeth. Choice E, scratching someone else's behind.
Picking your teeth. Picking your teeth.
You're the one that has to answer it. I would have guessed scratching someone else's behind.
I didn't think her and Kevin were together that often, but I'm supposed to.
Whoa.
Well, there's plenty of other someone else's. I mean, it's a big wide world.
Oh, well, I just needed him to shut up with the Beavis and Butthead stuff.
I mean, I guess it counts. I pick my teeth with my tongue.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, are you okay?
Fire! Enough, Paul.
Fire! All right, Paul.
I am Cornholio.
All right, Paul, here we go. Here's your one for me. Ready? And if you
Okay.
know me well, you'll know the answer to this. I think reality shows are which of the following and why? Reality shows. Are they A, light entertainment, B, a reflection of a celebrity-obsessed society, C, the opportunity to live vicariously through others, or D, nauseating?
It's the chance to live vicariously through others. That's how much you love wrestling.
That's not a reality show, dummy.
Oh, really? It's not a reality show?
No, it's
I don't know
scripted
how they-
television.
Well, reality shows are scripted television.
Reality shows
too.
are nauseating. Thank you very much. Reality shows are nauseating.
So we now know Kevin doesn't like wrestling. Okay.
No, well, wrestling is just like any other show. It just doesn't. Never mind. Shut up, Paul.
Oh, man.
Okay, last
Go ahead, Tom.
one. Which
Fire!
Which of the following futuristic events is likely to happen in 2085 and why? A. Cars that can fly. B. Genetic dating. C. Teleporting. D. Affordable flights to Mars.
Flying cars.
You think flying cars by 2085?
Mm-hmm.
No, he thinks that you
Oh.
believe that.
No, I think affordable flights to Mars by 2085. I mean, we're already setting the groundwork now.
So you think that'll be before flying cars?
I do.
We already have flying cars. They're just not mass produced.
I think the governments are going to be in the way of that for a long while.
Okay. Fair.
Okay, should we do one more round? We got 7 more minutes.
If you won't.
Let's do one more round and see how
Okay.
Paul does. Paul's right now is over 3.
No.
Are you kidding? I got Lori's right.
Oh,
Kevin,
one-
clearly
one-
I clearly had Kevin's right. Tom, I was way off on.
Okay. Ready, Paul?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were a detective, which cold case would I want to solve and why? Choice A, the murder of 6-year-old John Benet Ramsey, 1996. B, the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, age 3, 2007. C, identity of Jack the Ripper, late 1880s. D, drive-by shooting of rap artist Tupac Shakur, 1996.
Well, since that one got solved, I'm going to say you want to solve the Jack the Ripper case.
No.
Which one?
Damn it.
Tupac Shakur. I don't.
really?
Yeah, I don't think it's done yet.
Oh,
get the
it is.
hell
It's
out.
solved.
Jesus. All right. Paul.
Things are falling.
Can't believe I'm going to ask him this stupid.
This is going to be a good one, huh?
Paul, if I had to dress up. What are you doing? Turn that on. If I had to dress up, Paul, which of the following costumes would I wear for Halloween and why?
Jason Aldean.
A witch. B, a ghost. C, a fairy princess. D, the devil. Or E, I will never dress up. I guess you have to pick one of those 5.
Okay.
So which
You
ghost,
would dress-
fairy princess, devil, or never dress up?
You would dress as the devil.
I would actually dress as a fairy princess because I think that would be hilarious.
It would be.
It would be hilarious.
My guess would have been you would have not dressed up, including not wearing pants.
That's a good.
But you chose wrong.
Fairy princess wears a dress, no pants. Paul is not doing well at this game. Go ahead, Tom.
I have a friend of mine from college.
No, you don't. Quit lying.
I do. He's a nice guy. He's a very gay man.
More lies.
Lives in Minneapolis.
So he's happy-go-lucky.
Yeah. And one year he dressed as the
Hit him, Tom. Hit him. Right between the eyes.
He dressed as the Sugar Plum Fairy and was passing out tequila prune juice shots at a party.
That's great.
When you
Tom,
said fairy princess, that
from
kind of
now
reminded
on,
me.
whenever
of my
you
friend.
come in here in your Christmas sweater with the nipples cut out,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look at you and go, titty caca. I got that in me. Go ahead.
Okay. Which of the following athletes would I like to take a lesson from?
Oh,
and why?
Okay, this will be dirty. Go ahead.
A. Serena Williams, tennis. B. LeBron James, basketball. C. Tiger Woods, some golf. D. Cristiano Ronaldo, little soccer. And E. Alex Rodriguez, baseball.
How to lose Jay Lopez. And Tiger Woods. How to break out windows in SUVs as they're leaving you.
Yeah.
What do you think he'd pick, Paul?
Tennis.
Oh, Serena Williams?
Yeah.
Notice how there's no fencing people on there because it's not a sport. But go ahead.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. Can you name a famous fencer?
No.
Yeah, that dude from Goodfellas.
From Goodfellas?
Yeah, the mob movie.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He was a really good. No, he was a good fencer.
Oh, wrong kind of fencing. Do you know Winston Churchill was a fencer?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a European champion. He was a good fencer. Yeah.
And
I would take a golf lesson from Tiger Woods.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm a horrible golfer. I mean, that guy knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, at least in the world of golf, he does.
Right.
Butthead, is it normal for the inside of your bunghole to itch?
What?
Oh man, we're off the rails.
What?
Don't answer. There's no good answer. That doesn't get worse.
Is it normal for the inside of your bunghole to itch? It said. I don't know what to do with this.
Let's just say preparations A through G haven't worked. Time to move on to the next letter.
Robert has said this is why Kevin has no dates. There's many reasons why Kevin has no dates. Robert, thanks for continually bringing that up. It will never get old on this show that I am a desperate loser who can't get a date. It will never get old that you guys remind me of that on a regular basis. And yet the two people who bring it up the most are Paul and Robert Parker, two people who say that they're my wingmen and yet have done nothing to man my wing.
Oh, now you don't want to start telling those stories. You don't want to start going there with those stories.
Yes, let's go back 20 years, Paul. 25 years, Paul. Let's go back all that time ago.
Let it go.
You're like Joe Biden, who was able to pass some significant legislation at some point in 1987, but hasn't done anything since. Your wingman reference days is like from 2011. You've done nothing since then.
Yeah, no, it's true, Kevin. That's right. I mean, I haven't been your wingman since you fled the bar and left me with your
goodbye, AM.
Date.
Facebook, stay right there. Outlaw Radio. All right. Robert's talking about how I talk about my bunghole on air. What am I looking for? Michelle. Hilarious. Oh, God bless it, man. Go ahead, Paul. Whatever tidbits of wonderfulness would you like to share about my singleness? Go ahead. Let's just get this all out of the way now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I wasn't. Listen, I wasn't saying.
Go ahead.
I wasn't saying anything about it, but I mean, in all honesty, you are doing Beavis and Butthead as a grown man. I'm just saying.
Hey, Beavis and Butthead are funny.
Only for a certain kind of person, and I'm not sure what that person is, but I'm just.
And we Gen Xers get to claim Beavis and Butthead, so I think we can invoke Beavis and Butthead at will.
Yeah. Okay.
It was fun. I was reading.
I freely admit I don't get it, and I don't get people who like it. There's nothing funny about it to me.
Oh, you gotta embrace your inner child, your inner idiot. Even
I guess
inner idiot child.
My inner child just was. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll leave it alone.
Good choice.
All right, so we're not gonna go very late because I'm really tired, but I do want to share with you just a couple of jokes. Just a couple of jokes before we end the show. We have not done the most offensive 5 minutes in radio in a while.
Here we
go. I just wanted to share a couple of jokes. If you guys have any you want to share. Here's one. Remember never to answer the phone during sex, even if it gets funny with the phrase, I can't talk right now. I'm going into a tunnel.
Oh, man.
That's how you make your situation end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
My father used to always say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger until the accident. Let's see.
Yeah, that reminds me. He's thinking about, the way Grandpa died, peacefully in his sleep. I figure that's a good way to go. Unlike his passengers, of course.
Yes.
Screaming in terror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My girlfriend said she wanted me to tease her, so I said, all right, fatty.
Oh boy.
What do you call fake pasta?
Impasta.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis, do you have one?
No.
Okay, I'm going to end with the worst joke. I don't know if I said this on the show last week, but I might have said it off air. I don't know if Paul heard this joke. So this is the most offensive joke I've heard this year.
This isn't the one about spinach, is it?
No. That was last year's joke.
Is this the one where Biden gets reelected?
No.
Okay.
What do you call it when you come on your girlfriend?
Oh.
Yeah, you said this last week.
Loading the dishwasher.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Good night, everybody.
Good night.